We talk news.
5:06, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well and welcome on in to a Monday, January 26th of 2026. And it is cold outside. Joan, how are we doing?
It is nuts outside.
So just to let you know where we are at. So I'm in the studio. Joan is at home in, where is it, Joan?
I live in Manchester, so I'm actually somewhere between Manchester and Morrison. So
okay,
yeah.
So it is cold, and I walked into work. If you follow me on social media, I live streamed my walk into work this morning. It was at like 12:30, 12:35 or something like that. So, Joan, you'll love this. It was my big live stream debut.
Yeah.
And all of 44 people watched it, and I was very honored that 44 people watched me for 12 minutes walking the icy roads of Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm impressed actually that 14 people were up for that.
44.
Over 44.
Come on, Joan, don't rip me off of like 30 something. So yeah, if 44 people watched, then I guess it lives on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of times where I almost, took a header, if you will, almost fell. And the roadways are really rough. Obviously, the sidewalks are as well. But obviously, I made it in one piece. I'm staying in a local hotel. And so Joan is at home. We've got Chris Hand. He is going to be broadcasting from Murfreesboro. Chris Hand, I should say, Chad Benson, noon to 3. He lives in downtown, so he's going to be able to walk in. And Matt Murphy is probably, of the four hosts, he's probably got the most issues because he lives south, right? So in the new house, Murphy Lago, whatever it is that we're calling it. So Matt is, he's ready to go, though. He's going to jerry-rig a bunch of stuff, and he's going to figure out the best way to be on the air this morning. So he will be. Now, the phone lines are open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. If you want to call in a road report. We've got all kinds of stuff going on today. At 6:06, we've got Stefano DiPietro. He is going to be joining us for a nice look at the weather, a nice look at the bad weather. So we'll spend some time talking about timelines and everything else. Is it safe to assume, Joan, that the bulk of the ice and the snow, is that now behind us? I mean, the ice falling?
The ice falling, yes. Yes. Now, for some of you, got up this morning and it was still snowing.
Yeah, it was in Nashville when I was walking.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. We actually have more snow now than we did at the beginning of the storm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there where you live.
Yeah. But yes, there should be no more precipitation. But these temperatures are insane. It's right now in Nashville, the National Weather Service says it's 14 degrees, but the wind chill makes it feel like 0.
0, 1 degree is another temperature that has whatever. Does it really matter? Does the 1 degree make a difference, Joe? And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to split hairs over 1 degree.
I don't think it should.
I think 0 actually sounds just way cooler. So we're going to go ahead and say 0. And so, you know what I also found interesting? By the way, we're going to go over some of the power outages as well. But we've got Stefano at 6:06. I've also got scheduled Trent Scott with Tennessee Electric. And we're going to go and talk about power outages. We do have Doug Crulin, president and CEO of BNA. We're going to talk about how long it's going to take for BNA to ultimately recover. Did you know the FAA has actually shut down BNA, Joan?
Yeah, so there's a lack of air traffic controllers, so they couldn't keep the tower open. I mean...
Right. 7:06, Brian Wilson is going to join us, 7:35. I've been wanting to talk to the people at 7:35 for quite some time. Cindy Porter with Jeepers of Spring Hill. Now, you know who these folks are, Joan? These are the people who will drive nurses, doctors, veterinarians, those kinds of people to work. So, these folks that are, first responders and so forth. So they get in their Jeeps, their highfalutin, really tough and rugged Jeeps, and they drive folks around Middle Tennessee. So we're going to talk to them at 7:35, 8:05. We may have Matt Murphy on. We're going to be in touch with the fine people at TEMA, Tennessee Emergency Management, as well. And I think from here on out, I don't know. One of the big questions I'm going to ask the people at Tennessee Electric is that if you have power now, do you believe that the people that have power now will continue to have power, or are we going to see more power outages continue throughout the next couple of days, or really is it now just recovery? Because I don't know. Luckily, at my house, we did not lose power. Joan obviously did not lose your power. You're saying, Joan, about 175,000 people without power. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so that is the numbers for, let's see. That's just Nashville Electric Service. Then you've got the other ones that also have some outages.
So I've got actually a county map. Ooh, so I've got Tennessee power outages all across our listening area, of course. But Sumner County, we've got 27,000 people out. In Clay County, almost 3,000. We've got Robertson County, 7,880, 7,880. Davidson County is where, we're really taking it in the shorts. 155,390 are without power. Williamson County, 14,125, especially in Franklin. We have Cheatham County, 4,135. Wilson County, so I made, and a lot of people were asking me, Dan, why didn't you just broadcast from the home studio? As I said on Friday, I didn't want to risk my power being out, because if I lose power, then I can't broadcast from home, right? So I did make the choice to, go ahead and pay for the room, and I'm going to be here in the city for another day. But I've been here since Saturday afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, I came in, and then just hanging out at the hotel and, doing whatever you do in a hotel for hours and days on end, which is absolutely nothing except hoping that your power does not go out. But in Wilson County, where I live, you know what the total number of people out? 327. So my home does have power, so I could have broadcast from home. But you know what I like to say? Joan, what the motto is for Nashville's Morning News?
What is it?
Better safe than sorry.
That's good.
Better safe than sorry. Williamson County, I said, 14,125. Murray County, 4,256. Giles County, 923. Hickman County, 3,115. So there's a lot of people without power. They are saying that this is, one of those storms, one of those ice storms that we will be talking about for years to come. And obviously we will be. So we'll continue to talk about all things weather. I do have the understanding. I do know that people want to hear about other things as well. So we will talk about the shooting in Minnesota, yet another law enforcement involved shooting. We're going to talk about that as well. We do have a lot of what you're used to here on Nashville's Morning News as far as the news of the day and so forth. So just a very busy morning here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Got to check the roads. And by the way, if you're out on the roadway and you want to call in like a road report, how are the roads? And you could do so safely. 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. I am fully aware, Joan, and I know that you are too, that while you and I and RJ in for Sam, thank you for coming in, RJ, I think that the vast majority of the listening audience is at home in bed.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I would be if
can I be honest with you?
Work.
If it wasn't for me and this microphone, I would be home in bed.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if you don't listen today. How's this for stupidity? I'm telling people that are not listening that it's okay to not listen today. Because they're not hearing me say that. Mm-hmm. See, that's some Marconi winning broadcasting.
That's why you got the award.
Joan, whatever your name is.
And Dan, if I may slip one in.
Sure.
We can't see Joan. She's streaming in today. For all we know, she is home in bed.
That's a great point, RJ.
Rest assured, I am not in bed.
Joan and I were FaceTiming earlier. I can personally attest that Joan Jones is not in bed. All right, it is 5:16 at Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. Joan, what's going on the roadways?
So the area that I'm seeing the most delays and problems looks to be 24 heading eastbound. Now in the Pleasant View area or heading into the Pleasant View area, I'm seeing that the traffic is stopped or it's just moving so slowly that the map appears to be blacked out. Now that means that there is a serious problem on the roadway. They're not saying that there's an accident there. I'm not seeing it in the cameras, but I am seeing that it is blacked out on the area 24 in the area of Pleasant View down to Pinnacle this morning, and on all the way in to the Nashville area, you've got it running really, really slow. All the major roads are showing as running very slow, but that's because traffic isn't moving very quickly. Which is a good thing, but you may want to watch it this morning. If you've got to be out there, there's going to be black ice. There's going to be patches of ice, especially on those overpasses and bridges that you may run into this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm a little surprised that there's actually people out on the road.
Yeah, me too.
Because when I was, putting my life on the line in a very dangerous situation, walking into the radio station in downtown Nashville for you, the radio listeners, there was like 3 people out on the road, and I felt like I was being judged, by the way. It's like, why is this guy walking at, 1 o'clock in the morning? It was about 12:30, and it was blisteringly cold. And but
usually it's the drunk guys that are walking home at that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I look like, actually? I look like, what's the movie? RJ, you would know. What is the movie? I can't remember the name of the darn movie now. Tom Hanks and the Train. What's the name of the movie? Tom Hanks and the Train, where you got the kid and they're in a train.
Oh, Polar Express.
Polar Express. Do you know what I look like in the, and you can go ahead and grab that call, RJ. So I realize now that I looked like the hobo at the top of the train in Polar Express when I was driving in or when I was walking in. That's what I look like.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. So 5763. Did you crawl in, Dan? No, I did not crawl in. I would actually be very curious as to know who, if you're listening, are you out of power? Well, yeah, because you can listen on the radio with your batteries, right? So that's the whole point. Oh, you know what? Sean is in Lebanon. Sean's got a road report. That's very exciting. Sean, go ahead. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So the roads in Lebanon getting to I-40 aren't horrible. The lanes closest to the curb are definitely iced over. I'm westbound on 40 now from Sparta Pike, and interstate is good, but the black ice is definitely out here, like Joan said, and, I think people are just, like you say, smart enough to stay home for another day, and unless you have to work like we do.
That's right. Now, Sean, let me ask you, what do you do for work that you're out and about this morning?
I'm in law enforcement, Dan. We've met. I gave you the challenge coins.
You gave me the what?
The challenge coins.
Challenge coins?
Oh, thank you. Yes, Sean, thank you very much. He did. He gave me some very cool challenge coins. Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate, and I very much appreciate what you do, and you stay safe, okay?
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
So I'm looking at the roadway where he is on I-40 westbound, and I'm seeing cars go past, but from the camera angles and the lights on the roadway, it all looks shiny. All of it looks shiny.
And when it's shiny, it's black ice, right?
You can count on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I thought was interesting today? Or like watching the coverage over the weekend is that you have all these people on, and I'm not knocking the people on news TV. They did a great job this weekend. But over and over again, they said, stay off the road. And it's like, you don't have to tell me a million times. I'm not going to go on the road. Like anybody, like Sean, anybody who is on the road right now, they have to be on the road. They're not out for a joyride. They're not out trying to, buy a bottle of wine, although I might be able to use one right about now. No. They're out on the road because they have to be out on the road. Like Sean, you got a lot of first responders out there and, people doing whatever it is that they need to do as as people that have to be out on the road. And my buddy Doug, Doug Crulin from BNA. He's driving out to the airport right now.
Well, he's got to. I mean,
he's got to. Yeah.
Right.
Anybody who's out on the road right now, you're out there because you have to be. And somebody asking me, did you walk to work? Did you crawl to work this morning, Dan? No, I did not. Do you know what the most treacherous part of my walk was, Joan?
What's that?
Walking out of the hotel, there is a sloped. There's a sloped sidewalk. Yeah. And so I'm within about 45 seconds of my 12-minute walk into work this morning, I had regret. I'm like, this is not going to end well for yours truly. But then I actually walked into the middle of the street, and it was okay.
So you were on the road?
Yes, RJ, I was actually. Technically, I was on the road, but on 2 feet, not 4 wheels.
Well, you were talking about that slope being treacherous. I don't mean to cut you off, but I was the one who had to walk to work yesterday in the freezing rain and nearly got hit by a falling tree branch.
Yeah, but did you FaceTime it like I did?
I did not.
All right, well, you know what? Then I'm the
Next
one that
time.
took a hit for the team. I'm totally kidding, RJ. Thank you for showing up.
No, you're all good, Dan.
Let's see here. 9563 roads into Clarksville are covered but passable heading into work. 9832, I already busted my arse this morning. LOL. Let's see here. 6789. Dan, are you the new ambassador to Greenland? No, I am not the new ambassador to Greenland, but it'd probably pay more than I make here. Hey, it is 5:23 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. WTN. All right, Super Text line is open. Clearly, people are, sending notes in. Thank you. The Super Text line is 615-737-9986. We are on YouTube, X, Rumble, 99.7, WTN.com, and all that. So we do have a lot going on this morning. We will talk about the shooting in Minnesota, as I said. What can I say? It's another example of, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We will talk about that, including one of the most unsurprising things that people seem to be surprised over, Joan. And I don't know why people are surprised over this, but shocking that there is a very organized group of agitators in the state of Minnesota that are using, a lot of high-tech kind of stuff to do whatever they can to thwart ICE and thwart the Border Patrol in Minneapolis. And so over the last couple of days, the internet has been blowing up with this huge news from Cam Higbee, who I love. I love Cam Higbee. He's an independent journalist kind of a person. But it should be a surprise to no one that there is a very organized activist group out there that are trying to thwart ICE and the Border Patrol. And it looks like this guy who was unfortunately shot by the Border Patrol, shot dead over the weekend, may have been part of this group. The media is trying to sell this guy as somebody who was, he was like a nurse of some intensive care nurse or something.
ICU nurse.
ICU nurse. Mm-hmm. So all the stories are, this ICU nurse. Okay. It also appears that he was also one of these agitators. And certainly I will tell you that his actions caught on tape show that he was an agitator. So we'll talk about that as well. A lot to get to here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 5:25, 5763. Anybody know if McDonald's is open? Come on, man.
I doubt it. Just saying.
Jackie says, Jackie in Clarksville says our roads are a mess. We were without power for 4 hours yesterday and then got back up and running. Oh, wow. Listen to this. This is what Jackie's saying. Did you have something on 24, Joan?
On 24?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jackie says, our roads are a mess in Clarksville. We were without power 4 hours yesterday, back up and running. Got up at 4:30 for no reason whatsoever. You're probably my age, Jackie. And here I am. on the 24, they are saying 4 semis collided, but it's now starting to move again. A lot of cars getting off on exit 24. Where exactly? Do you know what she's talking? Where exactly, Jackie? Where exactly are you? Do you know what she's talking about, Joan?
I don't see it in the cameras, and we don't have that from the traffic center.
Okay.
So
hopefully,
I'm
Jackie.
going to have to rely on people to tell us. This morning.
That's the thing. I mean, they are so swamped. Oh, we're late.
We are.
My bad. All right, 526, Nashville's Morning News. If you see stuff on the roadway, call us, 615-737-9986. You can also super text us at 615-737-9986, 1932. Will In-N-Out still have a long wait today? All right, 527, we'll return next. Be careful this morning, friends. We'll return on WTN.
The Chad Benson Show.
Minneapolis, it feels like it's a little bit on edge. Do I think this was a bad situation yesterday? Yes. Do I think it was a tragic situation? 100%. Do I think it became political and everybody online wanted to win points? Yes.
The Chad Benson Show.
Weekdays noon to 3 and streaming on the Supertalk 99.7 WTN app.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
If you feel like you've been getting ripped off by auto repair shops, you're not alone. It's one of the reasons I started Eurofix and Amerifix, because all I ever heard was they keep your car forever, they're not honest, and they don't call you back when they say they will. Call in this Saturday beginning at 8 a.m. to get advice about your vehicle, and let's see if we can fix it. Find out how to keep from getting ripped off and avoid costly mistakes with your car. Join me this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Fixing Cars with Aaron Stokes on Super Talk 997 WTN.
Paid for by Eurofix and Amerifix.
Give the gift that lasts a lifetime this Valentine's Day with a gift from Brentwood Jewelry. Hey, it's Dan Mandis. Whether you're looking for that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, a pair of customized earrings, or a stylish watch for the man in your life, Brentwood Jewelry has the perfect piece to celebrate your loved one this Valentine's Day. Visit Brentwood Jewelry on Church Street in Brentwood or online at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Brentwood Jewelry, exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need heat or cold AC, busy bee, oh, busy bee. Call 775-7833.
Would some extra income or maybe a new career be something that would ease some of the stress? A place where you could learn about money? This is Roy Matlock Jr. In today's world, you definitely need a work-from-home option. Visit RoyMatlockJr.com and find out about our expansion and click Join the Team.
Hey, outdoor lovers, a brand new season of Tennessee Wildcast is here.
We're diving into fresh episodes featuring wildlife experts, hunting and fishing tips, and conservation stories from across the state.
Whether you hunt, fish, or just love outdoor adventure, Tennessee Wildcast has the stories, the news, and the people who make the great outdoors special.
So hit subscribe today. Join us for weekly episodes. Don't miss out.
To learn more, visit tnwildcast.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Brought to you by Alan Jackson Ministries. This and every Sunday night, don't miss Pastor Alan Jackson on Super Talk 99.7. From 7 to 8, he breaks down the news through a biblical lens. That's Pastor Alan Jackson, Sundays at 7 on 99.7 WTN.
Information fueled, opinion driven. Super Talk 99.7.
Good morning. It is 5:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Hundreds of thousands of Middle Tennesseans are still without power this morning, and it comes on a weather alert morning. The National Weather Service issuing a cold weather advisory for today. Temperatures dipping to 9 degrees below zero in some places. That's the feels like temperature dipping to 9 degrees. A private jet carrying 8 people has crashed in Maine. Happened last night as heavy snowfall battered that region. The plane went down just after taking off from Bangor International Airport. Now, that jet that crashed is registered to a Houston-based law firm. Moments before the crash, pilots and air traffic controllers could be heard discussing low visibility and aircraft de-icing. And then a controller cleared the pilot for takeoff, but just 2 minutes later, a controller stopped all traffic, declaring an aircraft was spotted lying upside down. The Department of Homeland Security says the man who was shot and killed by ICE agents on Saturday had gone to the scene of the Minneapolis ICE operation with the intention of interrupting as ICE agents were attempting to take a violent criminal into custody. 37-year-old Alex Preddy was armed but carried no identification. Fox News is reporting encrypted signal messages showed anti-ICE rapid responders were summoning backup around federal agents where the shooting happened. These responders document the license plate numbers and details about ICE vehicles and then later entered them into a database to track the movements of ICE operations. Now, Alex Preddy's parents claim that their son had gone to the scene to help those who were trying to protest against ICE. However, he was seen on video stepping into a scene where ICE agents were trying to clear protesters away so they could continue working. It was at that point that he was pushed to the ground and his gun was taken from him. He was shot and killed in the midst of that scuffle. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is doing something that's never been done before. General Dan Kane convening a meeting of all top military leaders from the 34 countries in the Western Hemisphere. That meeting will reportedly focus on improving cooperation against drug trafficking and criminal organizations. The meeting is set for February 11th. That's the latest news. Stick around for your traffic and weather. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Jewelry Graham. Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Saturday, February the 14th. It's the most romantic day of the year to give and get fine jewelry. We have expertly crafted gifts for every type of sweetheart, any style, any budget. Get creative and design a custom necklace with meaningful charms, including 14-karat gold letters, engravable hearts, and birthstones. For the one, we'll help you propose with a dream engagement ring. Come see our wide selection of hand-picked natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes, in stock and ready to compare side by side. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in store or at shaneco.com because a friend wants you to win Valentine's Day. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
G'day, I'm Dr. Friday, president of Dr. Friday's Tax and Financial Firm. To get more info, go to www.drfriday.com. This is a 1-minute moment. I do not sell insurance. I'm putting that on the beginning of this because I am a huge advocate for health savings accounts. HSA contributions increase with inflation, and if you happen to be blessed where you don't need to use it, you don't have to. You don't lose it. It just grows and grows. It's another way of increasing your retirement, and you'll need it. Let's be honest. Statistically, you're going to have $200,000 to $400,000 in retirement just for medical expenses. Imagine if you had that sitting in your HSA so you could take your other retirement and live off it or pass it down, whatever works for you. If you need help, check us out on the web, drfriday.com.
You can catch the Dr. Friday call-in show live every Saturday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. right here on 99.7 WTN.
In the market for a new home, you may have questions. What loan is right for you? What neighborhood should you look for? How important is purchasing power and how to stay competitive in today's housing environment? I'm Tanya Escabel. Tune into my show every Saturday at noon to hear answers to these questions and more right here on Super Talk.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage. Donors are needed now to make sure patients across the country receive life-saving care. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
From the United Structural Systems WTN Traffic Center.
Okay, looks like things are moving very slowly this morning. If you've got to be anywhere and you're taking yourself out on the roads, just be advised that you're going to run into some icy patches. It's just going to look like it's wet, but a lot of these places are still very icy this morning. There is a crash reported westbound on 24. This is in the Antioch area, just past Haywood Lane, exit 57. And then you've got a blockage, too, at Williamsport Pike, both directions at Leatherwood Road. That's damage from the storm. Pretty slow, too, heading in this morning on 24 in the eastbound side, Pleasant View area. We're hearing that there has been an accident involving a few tractor trailers. Now, we don't have eyes on that part of the roadway. There's no cameras up there, and we're not hearing anything so far from the traffic center. But be advised that 24 heading eastbound in the Pleasant View area through Joelton, that's jammed up this morning, and it may well be closed. Take your time as you're headed out. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, Joan, I've got a great idea.
What's that?
I'm thinking that you said I-24 in, where is it?
24 eastbound, Pleasant View through Joelton.
Is that where Matt Murphy now lives?
No.
No.
He's in Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, Pleasant View isn't like the same thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was going to say if it was near Matt's house, we could just like send Matt out.
Oh, right.
And say, hey, Matt, go check out the interstate.
I'm sure he'd be willing, like happy.
You know what? Matt Murphy is a team player.
Yeah.
Because he knows that I would do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Don is in Columbia on Super Talk 99.7. All right, so Don, whereabouts are you in Columbia? And tell me about the roads and everything going on.
Well, I live south of Columbia, and my power is still out. It went out about 7 o'clock yesterday morning. It's been out since then. So I'm sure my pipes are probably frozen. But it looked like I was kind of an isolated street. Most of the areas around me looked like they had power.
Do the neighbors all, Don, did the neighbors all like band together and try to help each other?
Some people had generators and were offering other people to stay. We actually ended up getting a hotel room in Columbia. The roads weren't, the neighborhood roads were a little crappy, but once I got into town, the roads have been fine. In fact, I have to give compliments to whoever is working on the roads. They've been great, actually. Interstate's totally clear from Columbia up. I mean, maybe little patches of ice, but other than that, they're clear and quiet right now.
Do you know what's
So I'm
interesting?
almost from Franklin.
You know what's interesting, Don, is we got a super text line is going crazy. People are saying that, like where I live in Mount Juliet, the main roads are fine. It's just once you get into the neighborhoods, that's where it gets really bad, is the neighborhoods.
Exactly, and that's my case as well. Everything, once I got off my neighborhood road onto a main road, they were fine, and everything's good. They're actually dry, so kudos to the road crews.
Well, very good, Don, and thank you very much for letting us now know how things are going. And, I'm glad you were able to find a hotel room. That is what I ultimately, did here in town, just so that I could be here for the job. You know what's so funny, Joan? Is Joan there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You know what's so funny, Joan? So I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I'm going to go ahead and do so. So
well,
this
you
might
started
be,
now. So
this might be my last day at WTN.
Right.
So
just let it rip, Dan.
I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, RJ. So I'm trying to negotiate with the company and get some help with the hotel room situation. Because, not in the budget and all those kinds of things. And I okay, whatever. So you know what they said? They said, we all know Kenny Smoove over on, is it 92Q? Is that
I think so,
the urban station?
92Q, you got it.
Thank you. So Kenny Smoove, I've known Kenny for like 12 years, 13 years, whatever it's been. Long as I've been here, Kenny's been here. And they said, well, Dan, if you'd like to room with Kenny Smoove, then you will go ahead and, cover your hotel. Which is funny because I sent a text to Kenny and I said, hey, Kenny, great news. They said that they would cover my hotel room if I stay with you. And you know how you can tell if somebody has read your text message?
Oh, yeah, it says right at the bottom.
So
he read it and
he read it and I got no response. And I'm like, and I'm messing with Kenny, right? I'm totally messing because I love Kenny. So then I said, I let it sit for like 2 to 3 minutes, while he was no doubt texting, the powers that be and saying, what in the world are you doing to me? Rooming with Mandis? He snores.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yep.
So then I texted him.
Ugly.
I texted him after that and I said, no, you're welcome. Pretty funny, actually. Let's see here.
Hey, I'm seeing something that you might want to hear about. They're saying FAA is reporting that air traffic control tower has been reopened at BNA.
Yes.
So they got the staffing shortages are now over. So
Doug Crulin sent me a note, and he actually I should have started out with that. But yeah, so now what I'm going to ask Doug, because I'm fascinated by airports. So I'm going to ask Doug, number one, if I get fired for the last 5 minutes of conversation regarding the company, and I'm not bashing the company by any stretch of the imagination. I appreciate all that they do. But if they do fire me, can I get a job at the airport?
There you go.
I would love to be, like an air traffic controller. I think that'd be...
I think you need some qualifications for that.
They could just throw me in. I'm a quick trainer. I'm a quick learner. Not a problem whatsoever.
I'm thinking you're manning the cigar bar down the hallway.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Joan, another Joan, says, I'm out near Cottontown, Highway 25. Been without power since 11:30 a.m. yesterday. Oof. My goodness gracious. 40 degrees in my house. Oh. My propane fireplace doesn't do much. My next door neighbor works for a power company, so I know that they are having a very hard time. Somebody said, and I've got so many different people texting in, somebody said they really want to know about the power. Well, good news, because they're out without power as well. Good news in that I've got at 6:06, we're going to have Stefano DiPietro from WSMV. He's going to join us for a great weather update, as he does from TV. And then after that, we're going to have Trent Scott join us with Tennessee Electric. Going to talk about power outages and, what it's going to take to get everybody back on. And I continue to ask the question, okay, so if you currently have power, do you think that you're going to lose power? Or if the power outages that we currently have, is that going to be it? So that's what I'm really curious about. And yeah, this weather is horrific. And the roads are icy. Although, again, I really appreciate the road reports where people are calling in and saying, main roads, they're okay. I mean, they have been out in force. Do you know what else I think, Joan? I don't think we got, and I'm going to ask Stefano this, I don't think we got the amount of snow that we were supposed to get.
No, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so something happened, and I'll ask the expert, which clearly isn't me, but did we get a break on the snow, but we still got a lot of ice? And by the way, we're sitting here talking about how some roads are clear. Black ice is the big deal, friends. So you've got to be careful of the black ice. And people were watching, as I was coming in, people were watching my my live stream as I was, walking into the radio station. I didn't even think about, Joan, maybe not standing under trees with a bunch of ice on it.
Right. Well,
I'm such a numbnuts. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that it was difficult to avoid that. I mean, you've got to walk on the sidewalk. I'm sure that there's trees above you at many points.
Yep. Joe, let's see. Joe is in Smyrna, 547. Joe's in Smyrna on WTN. Joe, go ahead. What? You've got a road report. Where are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm actually now in Franklin, Tennessee. I live in Smyrna, but I work in Franklin, and I came all the way across 840 this morning. 840 is in really good shape. There's really large dry patches of the roadway. Your bridges and overpasses are still slickery, of course. I'm now on I-65 northbound rolling into Franklin, and it is also in relatively good condition.
So, black ice, though, I'm assuming you're driving at an appropriate speed?
Yes, sir. 55, 60 miles an hour, not hustling.
Do you know what's so funny, Joe, is that you're like, 55, 60, no problem at all. I would be white-knuckling at 30.
Well, I am also law enforcement, like the gentleman that called earlier, so we,
okay.
I think we have a different driving mentality sometimes.
Most certainly. What are you seeing as far as a law enforcement officer? What are you seeing out there? I know that in Franklin, there's still a lot of people without power.
I currently see a lot of Middle Tennessee electric trucks running up and down some of the main roadways. You can still see power out in some of the areas, but I think the normal traffic flow that I'm used to on a Monday morning is completely non-existent. I think everybody's being smart and is staying home.
Oh, yeah. You got, school closures. School is closed for at least Monday and Tuesday. I think there's going to be a lot more closures than that. And I'm assuming there's probably not a lot of crime out there as well, Joe, because, do you know that I did not see one person other than me, obviously, walking the roadways of Nashville at, 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, I think even the criminals got the memo, stay inside.
I would certainly hope so. Yes, sir.
Joe, thank you very much for what you're doing, what you do and what you're doing now. And be careful out there, okay?
All right, sir. You have a good day.
All right. See you later. Yeah. The people without power, Joan, oh, my goodness gracious. I was talking to Amy.
For that long. Oh, my goodness.
Can you? When I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we lost power for like 3 days. I mean, there's like, Fort Wayne is, it is like, it's Indiana. And it's in maybe northeastern Indiana. But, oh, my goodness. You would have like layers of ice out on the roadways. That's why, for me, quarter of an inch of ice, half an inch of ice. I mean, that's a lot of ice. But I've seen situations where I've had to unbury my car from inches of ice on it. So I'm kind of used to it. I'm still not good driving in it. But here's how to stay warm when the power is out. Now, Joan, do you know the checklist? How to stay warm when the power is out?
No.
Close the blinds or curtains to keep in some heat. Close off rooms to avoid wasting heat. Because you know who we're going to talk to later on this morning at 7 a.m.? One Brian Wilson, who he has heat and he has power, at least last time I checked, but he was a little worried that he was going to lose power. So he and Cabana Wife, they were basically living in the living room of their home because they didn't want to waste heat. They have a fireplace there in the living room and so forth. The plan at my house was going to, same thing. We have a gas fireplace. So Amy was going to keep the keep all the doors closed and put towels underneath the doors and do everything you can to close off areas where you're not going to hang out. So she and, the youngling, Riker, they were going to just live in the living room if they lost power, but they did not lose power. Obviously, wear layers of loose-fitting, lightweight, warm clothing. Eat and drink. Food provides energy to warm the body. Avoid caffeine and alcohol. Sorry, I've had a lot of caffeine.
What fun is it?
That's exactly right, Joan.
Okay, that's biased to radio producers.
Yeah, no, I get it. You're right. But can I just admit something on the air right now? And I'm not going to get into any graphic detail.
Go for it.
So I haven't had TV dinners in like 20 years. Probably longer than that. Well, 30 years. So I had something that I haven't had in over 30 years, Joan. You know what that is?
What's that?
A TV dinner, Salisbury steak, and macaroni and cheese.
That's awesome.
No.
It's kind of the perfect meal for, being in a hotel room by yourself.
No, Joan, it's done incredibly bad things to my intestines.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to get into any details, but I'm just telling you.
Known that I'm glad I'm here at my house.
I'm just telling you, like, RJ, do you eat TV dinners? Because I've got 3 more TV dinners. I'm not going to eat them because I cannot take another. Clearly, the TV dinners are not.
I don't eat them as much myself, but my wife, bless her, she's an amazing woman. She set me up with, I call them field rations for my extended weekend stay.
Yep.
So she gave me a bunch of like little instant macaroni things.
Yeah.
But she was smart enough to get me a bag of bacon bits from Kroger. So I make that macaroni and cheese instant, and then I just put bacon bits in. Ooh, it's good.
Okay. Very good. Well, we still have a lot going on as far as the outages go. I am seeing, Joan, that heavy traffic. Let's go ahead and give that traffic again on I-24. Folks trying to head into Nashville up in Pleasant. Is it Pleasant View?
It is, let's see, it's the Pleasant View area down into Joelton, and even beyond the Joelton exit as you approach that area where it merges with 65. It all looks very slow this morning, but it appears that there may have been an accident. We're still not seeing any of this at the level of the cameras or with the traffic center,
Right.
but I am seeing that the roadway looks very backed up. Now, whether there's still an accident on the roadway itself, it's not clear, but just know that area this morning, Pleasant View into the Joelton area, is super slow and may even be closed. Really not sure of that.
All right, so Tennessee power outages, Robertson County, almost 8,000, Sumner County, 27,000, Macon County, 7,400. You've got Davidson County, obviously because you've got a lot of people living in Davidson County, 154,000 people without power. Williamson County, 14,137. Murray County, 4,268. Hickman County, 3,000. Let's see here. Dixon County, 6,300. Humphreys County, 5. 5 people out of power in Humphreys County. Rutherford County, 275. And one more. Let's do Wilson County, 329. One of the things that, and we're going to talk to Trent Scott with the Tennessee Electric, the folks over there at Tennessee Electric, going to talk about the power outages, how long, historically speaking, how long it'll take for the power to get back on. The trucks are out there, and these guys are working, these men and women are working, 14, 15-hour shifts. So if you're still without power, it's not for lack of trying from the folks at Tennessee Electric and some of these other providers. All right, got to go. 5:55. Joan's got the news coming up next here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan, what's coming up?
Okay, so coming up here, we do continue to follow those power outages. And there is a warning this morning for folks who are living in Murfreesboro about their telephone service. We've got details coming up here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning, 6 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we continue to follow the numerous power outages affecting Middle Tennessee. They are numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Every electric power company says it is working around the clock to get everyone back online. Got a warning for folks living in Murfreesboro. There are connectivity issues for AT&T and T-Mobile subscribers, described as making it impossible in some cases to call 911 or possibly even affecting the location data that is sent to emergency dispatchers. Nashville International Airport has just reopened the control tower. It expects to begin moving air traffic in and out of the airport now. It had been closed down since last night because of a shortage of air traffic controllers, but whether your flight is still scheduled remains up in the air, so to speak. So please check before you go this morning. A fire last night in Bellevue at the Westfield condominiums on Westfield Drive. 6 townhomes affected. Residents in 2 units were home at the time, and the roof collapsed there, but no one was injured, thank goodness. Some of those residents now out of a place to live. Nashville Fire says their ability to fight that fire was hampered by freezing temperatures. It appears another government shutdown is set to take effect at the end of this week, as Senate Democrats are vowing to oppose a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. That threat coming, of course, after the death of a 37-year-old man at the hands of ICE agents in Minneapolis this weekend. Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer, in a social media post hours after that shooting on Saturday, said that what is happening in Minnesota is, quote, appalling, and that Democrats, quote, will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if the DHS funding bill is included. Now, 6 of the 12 annual spending bills for the current budget year have been signed into law by President Trump. 6 more are awaiting action in the Senate. If senators fail to act by midnight Friday, the Associated Press reports funding for Homeland Security and other agencies covered under the 6 bills will lapse. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management online at beaconcm.com. Stock futures are negative this morning. More than 90 S&P 500 companies are set to post quarterly reports this week, including Apple, Meta Platforms, and Microsoft. So far, the earnings season has been strong. 76% of the companies have reported beating expectations. Traders this week will also pay pretty close attention to the Federal Reserve, which will announce its first policy decision of the year on Wednesday. Now, the Fed is expected to keep interest rates unchanged this time, but Wall Street traders are going to look for clues on when the Fed intends to cut rates again. Wall Street, by the way, coming off a losing week, geopolitical tensions unnerving investors, but President Trump announced a framework for a deal regarding Greenland. Still, the S&P 500 lost about 0.4 last week for its second straight weekly decline. Now, right now, Dow futures are minus 32. The NASDAQ futures losing 74, and the S&P 500 futures losing 10. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Okay, so there is that problem that we've been talking about all morning on 24 in the eastbound lanes. It's between Pleasant View and the Joelton area that it looks like that roadway is shut down. It may not be that way. I just want to mention it. We're not getting any word from the traffic center about it, but it does appear to be in black on my screen. So that tells me that there's a real problem out there on 24 eastbound. Pleasant View down to Joelton this morning. Now, the roadways are running very slow. Any road that you're going on this morning is going to be running very slow. And you've got delays this morning if you're traveling in the Williamsport, Tennessee area. That's Hickman. It looks like Hickman County. Williamsport Pike, both east and westbound at Leatherwood Road closed down because of the overnight or because of the weather over the weekend. And traveling on 24 and 40 this morning, everything looks pretty normal, but you're just going to find that it's very slow this morning due to the problems and the icing on the roadways. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.607 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Want to say good morning to the hardest working man, at least on this show right now, Stefano DiPietro, meteorologist over at WSMV. Stefano, always great to have you on. I know you're hard at work, so let's get right to it. What are we looking at as far as the weather right now and the rest of the day?
It's terribly cold out there, and with hundreds of thousands still without power, it's a really dangerous situation. Our temperatures are near the single digits this morning. We're only going to get back to 20 this afternoon. If we get lucky, a lot of us will be in the teens, and then it's right back into the single digits overnight tonight with wind chills tomorrow morning that should be sub-zero.
The feels like temperature, you said 0, 1, and we're talking about these freezing temperatures for, at least a couple of days, right? The kids are out of school until at least Tuesday. So when do you feel like Mother Nature will be helping to melt some of this ice and snow, particularly the ice on the roadways in the neighborhoods?
So it's interesting because you'll see the sun the next couple of days, but it doesn't do as much help as you think it would. This time of year, our sun angle is so low in the sky that the rays of sun will just come in, they'll hit off the snow and ice, and they'll go right back into the atmosphere. So because we don't get a lot of sun through the day, just in general with timing and the angle so low, it's going to take days here. I wouldn't be surprised if some schools didn't go back the entire week, just because you're talking about people's neighborhoods that, they can't get in and out of. The areas are so hilly around here that there will be people that maybe not be able to get out for days here, maybe until the end of the week.
Wow. Stefano, the chances that we'll see, like overnight, we saw some more, I guess you would call them snow squalls, some areas of snow still running through. Should we expect that over the next couple of days?
No, that's pretty much wrapped up here. The air that's settled in at this point is not only very cold, but it's also extremely dry as well. So getting any more kind of precipitation is kind of really starting to dwindle for us. I will tell you what is a concern, though, because the temperatures are still so low, and I just talked about how there won't be a lot of melting. The trees and the power lines still have hundreds of pounds of ice on them, and they're still getting overly stressed by that. So it's very much in the realm of possibility that we see more down trees and power lines through the next couple of days until we can get this ice out of here.
So in other words, that takes care of one of the questions that I was going to ask, which is we have, I'm seeing anywhere from, 250,000 to whatever, but a lot of people without power. I'm seeing different numbers. But the question is, we could still see additional power outages because of the trees and all of that ice on the trees over the power lines.
Yes, you absolutely could. It also makes it extremely dangerous to be outside. I know things have stopped falling as far as the sleet, the freezing rain is concerned, but you still should not, under any circumstances, be standing under any tree that is encased in ice right now. I mean, we have a tree that's here up the hill at the station that could come down at any second. You can see the weight pulling it down more and more with each passing hour. So you really have to be extremely careful in this kind of a situation. Everything is calmed down, but it doesn't mean the danger factor is over.
Stefano, let me ask you this, and then Joan will get her. We're in different studios, so Joan and I can't communicate like we usually do. But real quickly, Stefano, did this storm, I know that it seemed like we didn't get as much snow as we thought we would have. Did this storm, has it been for you as advertised? Was it not as bad? Was it worse? What do you think about what we eventually saw with this storm?
I think that it was as advertised. We never really thought we were going to get a lot of snow out of this. And, we kind of discounted those rumors of, 2 feet of snow almost immediately early last week. And then we really started harping on the threat for icing early, if not at the latest, in the middle of the week. And we were warning people, the snow's not going to cause a lot of problems, but you need to be careful of the icing. We said that we would have several hours of sleet and freezing rain. It's exactly what happened. And I think that because there was a little bit of a lull between the snow falling originally and then the freezing rain really kicking into gear, some people kind of got a false sense of security that the forecast was going to be a bust, and then everything kind of, just took off and running from there. So the storm did exactly as we advertised. I really do believe that. And, the damage, the power outages is unfortunately kind of showing that for us.
So, Stefano, you talked about the low angle of the sun and that it may give some thaw to some of this freezing that we see on the roadways and on the trees. The potential for that to refreeze, like in the overnight hours, is serious. Am I thinking that right through?
You are absolutely correct. I mean, anything that thaws out, which is not going to be a whole lot today, but even if you get a little bit of melt, refreezing is going to happen very quickly because we have another flash freeze tonight where temperatures will drop into single digits. And remember, you can't just go out and throw rock salt down when the temperature gets below 20 degrees and expect it to work. I mean, even, we've heard from TDOT officials that have said that sometimes their solutions just don't work as well under 20 degrees. So that means that even things that are treated could still be icy tomorrow morning, and anything that's encased in ice right now is going to continue to be so.
All right, so that's my question is, let's say that you are in a neighborhood and you've got all of this ice out on the roadway, and the problem is being able to get out of your neighborhood. What is the best way to melt that ice?
At this point, the best way, you would need, if you can get to the store, but the problem is trying to, get out of the neighborhood, to get some actual, some ice melt. That's not just salt. You need a different kind of solution for that. The best thing you can do is try and get yourself some traction. So if maybe you have a cat at home and you have some kitty litter, that's really helpful in getting traction. If you have sand or anything that your tires can physically grip onto to help get you, your tires able to grab onto something to get you going, that's the best advice I have. Melting it is going to be very difficult to do. You're probably going to have to try to break the ice up before you can even do that. I remember, when I grew up in Pennsylvania, you'd be out there with a pickaxe to try to get some of this ice out of here. That's the best way to get rid of it at this point.
Wow. All right. Joan, you got anything else for Stefano Di Pietro?
No, but Stefano, thank you for taking time out to hang out with us for a couple of minutes here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Pleasure.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Now, Scott Trent is with us now. By the way, Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. Scott Trent is with us, Senior Vice President of Communications, Tennessee Electric cooperatives. All right, so number one, define what the Tennessee Electric Cooperatives is. That's like a whole bunch of electric companies, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So there are 25 consumer-owned electric co-ops in the state of Tennessee. We work with those guys, everything from public relations to legislative work, and in this case, mutual aid.
All right, so let's talk about the power outages. First of all, what number do you have? I'm seeing, 270,000, 250,000. I think it just depends on, I don't know, maybe how they're counting. So what is your official number of power outages throughout the state of Tennessee?
Yeah, it's a moving target. It has been all weekend and probably will continue to be. Each utility reports their numbers slightly different, and so it's hard to get a specific number. The co-op number that we are using is 85,000 statewide, both co-ops and other utilities. That number is closer to 280,000, something like that.
Okay, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a moving target. So let's talk about now the question that everybody's going to want to know, and it's an unfair question to you, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it, which is, if somebody's without power right now, how long before their power gets back on?
Yeah, that is an impossible question to ask right now, or to answer right now. An ice storm like this causes incredible damage, and something that we talk about a lot. When you add an inch of ice to a power line, you're adding about 2,000 pounds of weight to that one span of line between two poles. And anytime you have that amount of weight, that amount of stress, things break. And so with many times we deal with outages, and it's a tree falls, it blows a fuse somewhere, we get the tree off the line, refuse the line, and the lights come back on. In this case, things are breaking. Poles are falling down, lines are being broken, and that kind of damage just takes a whole lot longer to repair than we would like. It's a slow process. I was with some crews yesterday, and not only is it repairing the lines, it's getting to those locations. In many cases, they're having to cut trees out of the road just to get to where they need to be to start those repairs. And so it is going to be a long process. Much of yesterday was spent on if you think about you have a pole that's broken or some damage, it's a quick repair and it gets a lot of people on. And so that's what yesterday was spent doing. Today, and as we get longer into the week, that process slows down. And so where it might be yesterday you spend 2 hours and you get 1,000 people on. Now we're getting into the issues where you spend 2 hours and you get 5 people on. You spend 2 hours and you get one person back on. And so the process of restoration slows as we go. Yeah, because you're going for like mass first. Like, all right, we got 5 to 7 to 8 to 9,000 people in this one area. You got to get those people their power back on. How do you prioritize who you're going to turn on when? Like, how are you going to restore who when? Yeah, there's a plan. There's a deliberate plan that utilities follow, and it's basically critical infrastructure first, things like hospitals, emergency services, water systems, those kind of things. Then your main power lines, like you just said, that serve lots of people. Then you get into individual neighborhoods, and then you get into individual service lines where the line that runs from the street to your home may be down. Those are going to be the last things that get picked up. Unfortunately, in a process like this, some people get power quick. Others it takes longer. But crews are working. It is something that these folks take personally. They want to get the power back on, and they are out doing everything they can to make that happen. Talk about the shifts. I mean, I know that people are listening. They're listening on their battery-operated radios, maybe in their car, and they may be without power.
And so I know that it is, as I said, an impossible question to answer and perhaps an unfair question to ask, but it's the one that everybody wants to know when the power is going to be back on.
Sure.
Talk about, you said the workers take it very personally. Talk about the shifts. I mean, you're talking about, I read somewhere that the men and women are working 12, 13, 14-hour shifts.
Each utility has different rules and follows a different plan, but in general, that when the first calls come in, most utilities will work 24 hours straight. After that 24 hours passes, this is dangerous work, and it gets extremely dangerous when you have workers who are out there tired. And so usually after that first 24 hours, they get sent home, and then you start for some rest, and then you start this usually 16 hours on process of, come in. Most of our utilities were going back at 6 this morning. They'll work 16 hours, take another break, and then continue that process till everything's back on. So
I know that people are obviously, again, getting frustrated and they want their power back on. Rest assured, it is being worked on, and people are, obviously I've been without power for days on end, as I was explaining to folks earlier. I know the frustration. What are some of the tips that you might have for people whose power is out? First of all, when somebody's power goes out, do they need to tell you, or do you just know based on your computers and all that?
Again, we work with different utilities, and different utilities have different systems in place. It's always good to let us know.
Okay.
It would be unfortunate if we didn't know, or if something slipped through the cracks. So it's always best to make that report and let your utility know what's happening at your home. There's never a downside to doing that.
All right. Is there anything that we've missed from this interview that people need to know? I mean, if you see a power line down on the ground, obviously don't touch it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just a couple of safety things to keep in mind. Always assume that.
And it's not me, right?
It can, they're lower than they normally are. There's trees on them. They may be laying over a fence. Keep your distance. Assume that it's hot. Don't get near it. A couple of other things to keep in mind: if you're running a generator, very, very dangerous to connect a generator to your home's electrical system. That can actually push power back onto the electric grid if you don't do that properly. It's something that we recommend you have an electrician do. But in a case like this, we know people do that. If you do connect a generator to your home's electric system, make sure you turn the main breaker in your home off to disconnect your home from the power grid. It's just an easy thing to do to protect your neighbors, protect first responders, and protect those line workers who are out there trying to get the lights back on.
All right, Trent, thank you very much for the information. Very much appreciated. And keep me abreast, if you would, on those numbers. Trent Scott, Senior Vice President of Communications, Tennessee Electric Cooperatives. It's going to be a while, Joan. I hate to say it, but it's going to be a while before everybody's power is back on. Talking to Stefano, it's going to be a minute before everybody's roads are cleared in the neighborhoods. That's my neighborhood. Joan, where I live, is my roads in my neighborhood. They're going to be iced over, and so it just depends on if they're able to get them all cleared out. We know that we have local lawmakers that do what they can, and people that work within Wilson County and Mount Juliet to get the roads cleared in the neighborhoods as quickly as possible. Thank you. Thankfully, they were able to get those done relatively quickly. It is 6:24. Joan, did I do traffic, Joan? I don't think that I did. So is Joan's mic on? Because she's not responding.
I'm here.
There you are, Joan. All right.
There we go.
All right. So what did we do? I don't think we did traffic. So real quickly, give me a traffic report, and then we'll talk about the news at 6:30.
Okay, so it looks like in Pleasant View, there's a crash on 24 eastbound. They finally got this on the board for us. Pleasant View in Robertson County, 24 eastbound at the McMahon Hollow Road overpass. It's a crash, and the left lane is blocked off by it. That is involving a tractor trailer. Now, you've got an accident on 40 east side, the eastbound side, past Spence Lane. It's a crash that takes out the left lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, Joni, real quick, what is coming up in the news at 6:30? Then I'm going to read a Stoltzko spot. Go ahead.
Okay, so we do have a death toll now. Death toll is at 14 across all areas that were hit by this storm. More on that coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, Joan, thank you. Coming up at 6:35, here's what's going to happen in the next segment. I'm going to speak to Doug Crulin. He is the president and CEO of BNA. So we've got some good news on BNA. So we're going to talk about flights and all that kind of stuff. Also coming up, I am going to talk about the Minnesota shooting. We've had law enforcement and there was another shooting. A person is dead. You're hearing all the usual narratives about, who this person was and the media definitely has a story that they're trying to push. There's a lot to talk about with the shooting in Minnesota. I'm going to get to that coming up in the next 30 minutes here on Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mendes here. I want to tell you about my friends at Stoltzko. Now, this is a great Tennessee company. They do continue to grow and expand. At Stoltzko, they build pole barns, and these pole barns, they can serve as a garage and event space, an equestrian building, even barn-dominiums. Yeah, you can live in these pole barns, and these days, those barn-dominiums, they are new and improved. Stoltzko is now offering you turnkey options. That means that they handle the design, the construction, and the amazing finishing touches as well. You turn the key, and you are home, thanks to my friends at Stoltzko. They are my company for all things pole barns. And again, they can be used for anything that you want. So if you've got some land that needs a building for whatever you want, call my friends at Stoltzko, 615-622-5992. You can also find them on Instagram and Facebook to see examples of their incredible work around Middle Tennessee. STOLTZCO, Stoltzko.com. Hey, it's Dan Mandis for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Now, I am stuck at the radio station, but I can tell you, I know that my family is warm and comfortable at home because we use Busy Bee HVAC for all things plumbing, heating, and cooling, and I have for well over a decade. Now, they're always looking for ways to save you money, and right now, in the month of January, they do have an opportunity for you if you need a new HVAC unit. Well, they're helping you out with 0% financing for 18 months, a complimentary UV light with any new unit install, and a free 5-year labor upgrade. Friends, that is a $750 value. If you need plumbing work, you get that same 0% financing plus a free 50-gallon water heater with select repipes or $600 off if not applicable. And you can save $600 on a Halo filtration and softener combo. So many reasons to love Busy Bee HVAC. If you have concerns about indoor air quality, you can take 15% off UV lights when you book a premium duct cleaning. Call them. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Online, busybeehvac.com. Busy Bee, your comfort, our mission.
Good morning, 6:31. Now I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The National Weather Service telling us our high temp today will be around 18 degrees, but at our warmest point of the day, it's still going to feel only like about 12, maybe even less. A cold weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m., and the National Weather Service says after that, it is an extreme cold warning because the wind chill will drop below 10 degrees below zero. Any way you slice it, it is going to be frigid for the next few days. Now, here's the good news. Middle Tennessee Electric has just dropped their number of electric outages to under 8,000, according to Fox Nashville. And BNA just reopened its air traffic control tower after an overnight closure due to a staff shortage in the tower. But the bad news is we're still seeing hundreds of thousands of power outages across the Nashville, the Middle Tennessee area from the many electric companies that provide power. So with so much ice still on power lines and trees, there may be more outages to come, making the situation potentially where things get worse before they get better. In Camden, Tennessee, Benton County, the top side of a marina is collapsing under the weight of the ice and snow, collapsing onto the boats that are parked under it. Now, this is happening at the Birdsong Marina. Officials there say the docks are sinking as well. A pretty dangerous situation underway. At least 14 deaths have been reported because of the storm across the country. 3 deaths reported in Tennessee, all of them in the western portion of the state. In other areas, police near Dallas report a 16-year-old girl died from a sledding accident. That girl was being pulled on a sled by a car being driven by a teenage boy. That sled struck a curb and then hit a tree. In Austin, Texas, a person was found dead in the parking lot of an abandoned gas station, apparently died from hypothermia. And 5 people have died in New York City. That is the latest news. We've got your traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 6:34, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. By the way, coming up, an update from BNA is straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7. Brentwood Jewelry, listen, if you need a great gift for that special someone, check out my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. They've got everything. Rings, watches, earrings, money clips, and of course, necklaces as well. Great selection, great value at Brentwood Jewelry. One of the things that I really like about Brentwood Jewelry is that if you've got like an old family heirloom, something like that, then they can actually restore it so that it keeps that classic look, but is also functional as well. So there's so many reasons to check out my jewelry store, Brentwood Jewelry. I'm wearing my official Brentwood Jewelry watch this morning, as I do every morning, that was bought for me by Amy, and I've bought her a couple of earrings as well. Great jewelry store. Check them out online. It is BrentwoodJewelry.com. Their tagline really is perfect for what they do. Exceptional style. style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Find them online at BrentwoodJewelry.com, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out.
Okay, so
.638 Nashville's Morning News on WTN. Real quickly, Joan, we're having some computer issues in here, but want to make sure we get to your traffic before we get to Doug Crulin at BNA. Joan, what's going on with the roads?
Yeah, so on 24 eastbound, we've been watching that accident scene near the Mount Pleasant area. Pleasant View area this morning. So 24 eastbound at the McMahon Hollow Road overpass. It is still jammed up this morning, but now that tractor trailer has been pushed off to the left shoulder. You also have some problems on 40 eastbound at Spence Lane, exit 213, with a stalled out vehicle on the right lane. And looks like cameras are down in a lot of spots this morning, so we're not really able to see a whole lot that's going on in the roadways. We're just trying to report everything that we're seeing as things jam up. Be careful of that black ice traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right. Thank you, Joan. And yes, it is really, really cold, icy, black ice on the roadways. We've still got a whole bunch of power outages as well. Want to welcome on into the program Doug Crulin, President and CEO of BNA. Doug, always great to have you on. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. That there was a headline, and I thought it was important and I don't know, kind of alarming, but I think it may have been a little alarmist. So maybe you can explain to us what exactly happened. The FAA closed Nashville's air traffic control tower. So talk a little bit about what that means. Does that mean that planes stopped flying in and out of BNA?
Yeah, it definitely can mean that. The biggest challenge, just like everybody else in your audiences, is the controllers couldn't get from their home to work. So the controllers that were on duty yesterday morning had made it in, and they're only allowed to work so many hours per day. And, by the end, they ran out of duty day at 1 a.m. this morning. But thank goodness they got up and those were able to get on the road safely and get out here, and we reopened the tower at 5:10 this morning.
Okay, so let's talk delays. Let's talk about, how bad is the airport traffic, if you will. I know that the runways get backed up. So let's talk about how does BNA get the runways so that they are able to be used by the airplanes?
Sure. So we plan year-round. We have a snow and ice control plan, and then we really start ramping up in October to make sure we're ready to go. So this storm that was coming across, we've been preparing for it for a little over a week. We're responsible for the runways, the roads, and the ramps, and the airlines are responsible for cleaning off their airplanes. So we have friction testers that we can drive onto the runway that simulate the braking action of a jet, and so we know whether the runway pavement is clean enough for the airlines to operate safely.
All right, so tell me about the delays. I know that you've got delays all across the country because of the snow and the ice. So how are we doing at BNA?
Well, we're actually doing really good. Yesterday was a tough day for the airlines. They will cancel to avoid bringing an airplane in where it has a high probability of icing up. So yesterday they canceled 464 flights, about 78% of what was scheduled to come into Nashville. However, today we're already departing aircraft, and only 130 flights will be canceled today. So we're flying a little more than 75% of all normal scheduled flights here.
How long does it typically take to recover from something like this? And of course, knowing that it's not only about BNA, but it's about all the other airports across the country. It sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It is. It's a big challenge. And, at Nashville, most of our airplanes are full or 90%. And so when you have flights that cancel, there's only 10% fluff to move people from one jet to another jet. And so I would say it'd probably take 3 to 5 days to get rid of all the backlog once the weather, moves out of the East Coast and everybody's back into, pretty sunshine.
Doug, has this been the worst? Has this been the worst storm that has impacted BNA in the last, couple of decades? Or give me a comparison.
So in 2015, we had a lot of snow, and that was a real challenge for us. And all the airlines bought more equipment. We bought a lot more equipment. So we have some really high-speed equipment that'll clear a runway fast. So 2015 was snow. This storm started off with 3 or 4 inches of snow, followed by ice. It's real hard to remove ice, but we've been working it hard, and both of our runways are operational, and we forecasted to stay that way.
All right, Doug, I don't know. Did I miss anything here? It sounds like things are recovering pretty quickly at BNA.
Yeah, we're doing well at BNA, and just thank you for your team and the traffic reports. Listened on the way in this morning, so I appreciate that.
All right, thank you, and we'll talk to you again certainly soon. And Doug Crewlin, always there for Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6:45, and we've got a traffic report here on WTN. All right, this is old. Take it down. Take it down. Take it down. Take it down.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not your, RJ, it's not your fault. You need to know this is, all of this that is happening is not RJ's fault. A couple of things, sometimes are when we have limited staff and things get a little askew. So let's go ahead and Joan, talk about what is going on with the roadways, and then we'll segue into what I'm going to talk about next, which is the shooting in Minneapolis.
Okay, so yeah, we're looking at the big problems on eastbound 24 in the Pleasant View area. Now the traffic center is telling us that this is multiple vehicles that have gone off the road. TDOT says at least one was a tractor trailer off the road eastbound 24. And the trouble is between Springfield, Ashland City, and New Hope Road. Multiple vehicles off the road. That's going to tell you that there's some ice in that spot this morning, and it's a great place to not travel if you can. And that roadway may be closed because of that accident. Also, it's blocked off in Williamsport at Williamsport Pike, both directions at Leatherwood Road. That storm damage. You've got major delays heading in if you're traveling on any of the roadways this morning. It looks like it's really slow on 65 in the Brentwood area, and 40 is traveling okay this morning. But, it's just that the speeds are so slow. You're not going to get anywhere fast, and you got to watch out for that black ice. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's what we call white knuckle driving, Joan.
Oh, yeah.
High today of, it sounds like the high is sort of, 14, 15, 16 degrees, but it feels like 0 or 1. And right now we do have icy roads. We've obviously got some power outages, which we've been talking about all morning long. Dangerous roads as well. If you want to give a road report, by the way, feel free, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Joan, as you know, and you and I spoke about this before the show today, there's been another shooting in Minnesota involving law enforcement. A guy named Alex Preddy was shot and killed by ICE. And so the lead up is very important. First of all, a lot of people are saying that Alex Preddy, you've got the mainstream media, their narrative is this ICU nurse was out there and, he was just an innocent, standing by, hoping to help people who may have been hurt by ICE or the Border Patrol. Well, there's a lot more to the story, and I'm going to get into it here on Nashville's Morning News. There's a video, and you can see one of the videos. I'm here on Super Talk TV if you're watching via Facebook or YouTube and so forth. But the Border Patrol had a guy they were trying to arrest, an illegal alien, apparently.
Who, by the way, is still on the loose because of this.
Okay. Thank you, Joan. Yes, he's still on the loose. And so a couple of women get in the way of the Border Patrol trying to arrest this guy. And this is all on video. So now the Border Patrol tries to get the women out of the way so that they could arrest the illegal alien. And so the guy who ultimately was shot by the Border Patrol is a guy named Alex Preddy. And he decides to get involved. He starts jawing at the Border Patrol. He gets in the face of the Border Patrol. He's screaming, "Don't touch her," meaning one of the women that was physically preventing ICE from doing their job. And so Alex Preddy ultimately ends up getting pepper sprayed. So then he struggles. He fights back. He gets thrown to the ground. It turns out he had a gun. Alex Preddy had a loaded gun in his waistband. So the gun, because Preddy is, it's a melee. You got a lot of people that are, throwing him to the ground and checking to see if he's got, any kind of weaponry on him. And yes, indeed, they throw him to the ground. They find a loaded gun. So the gun was taken away after the struggle. I mean, they've got him on the ground. He's been pepper sprayed. They find the gun. And now what happened, apparently, is that his gun, it was taken away by one of the law enforcement officers on the scene. Some are saying that his gun accidentally went off as it was being taken away by one of the officers, and that led to the Border Patrol opening fire. Okay? So they don't know if he's managed to get another gun. The Border Patrol, they hear a gunfire from somewhere, and they thought maybe he had found somehow another gun. They knew that it wasn't them, the Border Patrol, that fired the gun. And so they shot Alex Preddy dead. Now, he was carrying a 6-hour P320 9mm pistol. One expert Daily Mail spoke to said that this model of gun, and Joan, you and I were talking about this before the show, this model of gun has a history of firing, as they say, uncommanded?
Or negligent discharge.
Or negligent discharge. Okay.
It's an unintentional firing of that gun.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I've never had that happen to me, obviously, but, apparently, didn't you say you have one of these guns, Joan?
So that's the P320, and I have the P365.
Okay.
Different models. But that 320 has been known to have that problem with discharging, especially if the gun hits the ground. Now, we don't know if that happened.
The gun,
in that scuffle.
If you look at the video, the gun was in the hands of one of the Border Patrol agents, the one wearing a gray jacket. And so what they're saying is that the gun went off as it was in the hands of this law enforcement agent. So, and here's the thing: if this thing was loaded,
right,
and it was ready to fire.
Yes.
And it went off just by this one agent pulling it out of his waistband and walking away, then, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're there for a peaceful protest, and by the way, this guy was legally allowed to carry the gun. It was permitted and everything. But, I mean, he had a loaded gun in his waistband. Now, he did not, here's the thing that's going on. And Bill Malugian at Fox News is actually reporting on this. There's been a lot of anger on the ground with Border Patrol and local law enforcement officials because you had Kristi Noem and some other folks say that, this guy, Alex Preddy, he came in brandishing a weapon is what they were saying in Washington, D.C. This is what Kristi Noem was saying, that the guy, Alex Preddy, came in and this is what they said, brandishing a weapon and ready to do the most damage possible. Well, no, because unless there's something that I don't know, his gun was in his waistband, and that's where they found it. He wasn't brandishing anything. And so as far as he wanted to do the most damage possible, it doesn't seem like that was his intention, because he did not have his gun in his hand.
Unless he was threatening them verbally.
And I didn't hear anything where he was threatening them. But what I heard him say was, don't touch her. And he's jawing at the law enforcement.
Right.
Now, they had every right, in my opinion, to pepper spray him. They had every right, in my opinion, to throw him on the ground. They were impeding with law enforcement. And Alex Preddy was impeding law enforcement. The problem that he has, and that, people that are on his side, and I'm on law enforcement side, but I want to give both sides of the story, is that he had a loaded gun and he was jawing at law enforcement. And here we are. I can't believe we have to say this again, Joan. We all know how to avoid getting shot and killed by a member of law enforcement, and that is by not impeding in their actions. The other thing about this is you've got the media talking about how Alex Preddy was an ICU nurse, which he was. But apparently he was also part of this anti-ICE network.
Yes.
And so Cam Higbee, y'all know Cam Higbee, he is a citizen journalist, very well known. And so he infiltrated a signal chat where a bunch of people were coordinating to stop ICE and disrupt ICE and do whatever they could to impede them from doing what they were there to do. They were responding to ICE vehicles by sharing license plates and mobilizing spotters and then interfering with ICE. And so some are even saying that the Minnesota Lieutenant Governor, a lady by the name of Peggy Flanagan, was part of this group. And if you look at what this whole thing was, I mean, they've got a training manual and, they've got information on donors and who was working with this, group, this anti-ICE network where, I mean, it's very organized. And so I wasn't really surprised by how organized they are. I mean, this is the modern day left, and so I would almost guarantee you, I don't have any actual facts on this, but I'd be willing to bet that the likes of George Soros and, NGOs funded by George Soros are probably funding money into this organization. But I love that Cam Higbee was able to infiltrate this group to show how organized it is. And so then the question is, was Alex Preddy part of this anti-ICE network? So there's a lot here. This is the reporting, by the way. I want to make sure I get this in, from Bill Malusian from Fox News. He says that he is told that there is extreme frustration with DHS officials going on TV and putting out statements claiming that Alex Preddy was intending to conduct a massacre of federal agents or wanted to carry out maximum damage, even after the numerous videos appeared to show those claims were inaccurate. While they say it was a terrible decision to show up with a gun and inject himself into a federal law enforcement operation, there is no indication, he says, that Preddy was there to murder law enforcement, as videos appear to show that he never drew his holstered firearm. He says these sources say that his messaging from DHS officials has been catastrophic from a PR and morale perspective, as it is eroding trust and credibility, comparing it to when Democrats falsely claimed the border was closed or that Haitians were being whipped at the border. It goes on, but I think that you get my point. So Bill Malusian is saying that, the things that, Kristi Noem and some of the folks from the Trump administration, what they're saying is not matching what local law officials or even the Border Patrol is saying about the death of Alex Preddy. So there's a lot to this. There's other videos, by the way, and I'm sure you've seen the videos, Joan. Unfortunately, these days you don't know what's been manipulated with artificial intelligence. But I did see one video where Preddy, before they shot him, he was trying to reach around. And so that would give an indication that maybe he was trying to find another firearm. Remember that you've got these videos and you've got people that are, they're slowing these things down to like frame by frame by frame. And these things happen just in a matter of seconds. Milliseconds.
Yeah,
and
it's so fast.
Yeah, so, you're going to have law enforcement and the Border Patrol and the Trump administration, really demonized with this story, but there's a lot more than meets the eye on both sides. And so
I want to, if you would, I want to go back to, you were talking about that Signal chat group.
Yes.
This is how organized this group was. It says, so they have different symbols that you would put next to your name, and it would tell them who's out there and helping. So if you've got a car, it's the mobile patrol. If you are a car with a stop sign, it's a stationary patrol. If it's a person running, that's somebody on foot patrol. If there's a phone next to your name, that means that you're part of dispatch.
Yep.
And what we don't know it, but there's, what this guy, Alex Preddy, would be is an aftercare provider, which is by one of those, it's a heart with like a bandage over the heart, those emojis that you see. So they had all of these signals that would show like what position they would take in this chat group. And it says, while on a shift, please put emoji in front of your signal name so we know your role and location. It was so organized. These people, and their intention was to go out and chase down all the cars, take the license plate numbers, the type of car, and report that. And then somebody would go and look it up and make sure that they knew the location of these cars. And if that car was in this area, then they would know that's an ICE patrol car. I mean, it was so intentional. And Alex knew to be out there because he knew where the action was taking place.
No, you're right. You're right. It's crazy. And I'm not really surprised at the organizational efforts of the militant left. I'm really not surprised at all. But we'll have to see where this investigation goes. And but again, how many times do we have to say
Yeah.
How do you ensure that you don't get shot by ICE or the Border Patrol or law enforcement, generally speaking? You obey commands and you don't interfere with what they're trying to do, and certainly don't get into their face and start jawing at them. So there is a lot to talk about, and it is 7 o'clock running way late. Joan's got the news coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 7 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, some of you are waking up to more snow on the ground this morning. Hey, don't be fooled by that. The ice is still under that layer of snow. Now, the National Weather Service is issuing a cold weather advisory until 6 o'clock tonight. It means there will be very cold wind chills, could be as low as 9 degrees below zero. And then starting at 6 o'clock tonight, it turns into an extreme cold warning, meaning that those wind chills will drop even further. All of this means that snow and ice is on the ground now, and it will not be going anywhere anytime soon. Sunday is going to be considered one of the biggest weather-related flight cancellation days in U.S. history. There were more than 11,000 flights canceled yesterday, including all flights at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Most flights at Philadelphia were canceled, and BNA was shut down overnight due to a shortage of air traffic controllers. Now, BNA was reopened in the 5 o'clock hour this morning. Nationwide, more than 3,000 flights have been canceled already for today. 2 people rescued from a car in Rutherford County after that car entered rushing floodwaters yesterday. This happened yesterday afternoon on East County Farm Road, where police have warned drivers don't attempt to cross this concrete slab when water is running over it. And this car apparently did. Fox Nashville reports that the pair were rescued and checked out by paramedics. They were okay. Warren County Emergency Management is warning travelers that Highway 8 and Harrison Ferry Mountain are not suitable for any traffic. Anybody who does venture outside, Warren County Emergency Management says if you get stuck or involved in an accident, they may not be able to expect first responders to even get there. And a fire last night in Bellevue at the Westfield condominiums on Westfield Drive, 6 townhomes involved. Residents in 2 of those units were at home at the time. Now, the roof collapsed during this fire, but nobody was injured. Amazing. Some of those residents are now out of a place to live. Nashville Fire saying that their ability to fight the fire was hampered by those freezing temperatures. That's the latest news. Stick around. We've got your traffic and weather coming up. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at the Glock store. Listen, if you've been wanting to check out that new Gen 6, you can. At the Glock store, this is the new gun that everybody's talking about. You know, the new Gen 6, it's got that new optic system, the RTF6 texturing, and yes, even that flat face trigger, among a lot of other things as well. Really optimized to make you a better shooter, and the Glock store wants to make sure that you can get one. Now, they got some in, they flew off the shelves, and now they want to make sure that you can pre-order yours right now by going to the Glock store. Again, they come in, and they're sold almost immediately, so pre-ordering really is the way to go. And right now, if you head on over to the Glock store, you check out the options at their rental counter. You can check one out, you can hold it, you can look at it, you can fire it as well. These new Gen 6s, they are amazing. Now, when you mention my name, you get an extra magazine when you pick up that new Gen 6 Glock. This is a limited time offer when you mention my name. Glockstore.com is where you can go to check out these great deals. Glockstore.com, shoot270.com.
All right, we are still working that accident scene on 24 eastbound in Pleasant View. It's between Springfield, Ashland City, and New Hope Road that you've got that accident scene this morning. Multiple vehicles off the road. One of them, at least, is a tractor trailer. So they're saying that this may be a while this morning before it's cleaned up. That should just let you know that it is very slippery out in that spot this morning. And then you still have the roadway in Williamsport closed down, Williamsport Pike, both directions at Leatherwood Road because of storm damage. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.707 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and welcome on in to Nashville's Morning News on a very cold and snowy and icy Monday morning. Brian Wilson is joining us from Watertown. Brian, how are you, buddy?
Oh, we're doing pretty well here. I'm looking out my window, and believe it or not, it's snowing here in Watertown. Not a lot, but a little snow, light flakes in the air. So it's like this storm just won't give up.
All right. So first of all, I want to do. We've had some computer issues. I want to go to Joan real quick, and Joan, just give us the upshot on the weather real quick, and then Brian and I are going to take a couple of calls on the roadways. But go ahead, Joan.
All right, so they're saying mostly sunny today. The high only near 18 degrees, so not much more than we have now. But the wind chill values down to -4. And then tonight, it clears out, low around 10 degrees, but wind chill values down to -9. That's where they're calling for that extreme cold warning tonight.
All right, so real quick, this is James. And James, you're on with Brian Wilson and Dan Mandis. You've got a Mount Pleasant ice report. Go ahead.
All right.
Yes, sir. The subdivision I'm in, which is very close to the airport, it's still slick.
Well, James, be careful because there is a lot of black ice out there. And Brian, I know you know this. There's a lot of black ice out there. James, thank you for calling from Mount Pleasant. And you know what I'm noticing, Brian, and I know with we're calling Matt Murphy's house now Murphy-Lago. So I'm going to affectionately call your home Wilson Lago.
Yeah, okay.
And it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it, Brian? But as you know, when you live in a neighborhood, it's tough to sometimes get out of the neighborhood. Like the neighborhood
the hardest part is getting out of your house and your neighborhood. And and once you get to a major road, well, hopefully, they've done a pretty good job of laying down some salt or some kind of anti-icing product so that you can get down the road. But it's your neighborhood. I was hit by the story of people who lost their power. And they said, well, if I could just make it over, it's about a 10-minute drive over to where I have some relatives and they have power, I'll be just fine. And they get ready to leave and a tree falls down in their street and they can't get out. Yeah. So, I mean, these things are real. Look, I mean, there was 300,000 people without electricity and we still got, I don't know, I'm looking at numbers this morning, 173,000 people who get their electricity from NES apparently still don't have power.
Well, we've got the numbers that I'm showing, some 280,000 across the state.
Across the state, yeah. In MTE, it still has at least 8,000. We got very lucky here in Watertown in that somehow we got ice on the trees, but we were able to maintain power out here. Boy, the people in Nashville down toward Brentwood and into Franklin and south of there, they really got hit hard with ice and the trees just couldn't hold up to it and it was bad and it's going to remain bad for a while. It's going to take them a while to work through all of these outages. There's low-hanging fruit and they can get to that pretty quickly.
Yep.
But then they really have to start with rebuilding, the major transmission lines. get those up running first, and then they start moving into neighborhoods as it's the way they have to do it. There's just no way about it. They can't start in the neighborhoods and work their way to the big lines. They got to start at the big lines and then work way down to the neighborhoods. And it just takes a while to do that. And, what normally happens in situations like this is, okay, if you have a problem, you can always count on other electric utilities to rush in and with some extra people. And that will happen, but not to the degree that I think it normally happens, because there's so many utilities that are having the same problem. They just can't afford to spare people. So it's going to take a while for, I think some probably will come up from Florida, et cetera, where they didn't have the ice. And it's just going to take a while for them to get here, get acclimated, get started. This is going to be a multi-day event, and people just need to understand that staying warm is going to be the major challenge for a lot of people. And when temperatures drop to, it's 6 degrees right now?
Yeah, it's going to be like Joan was saying, -4. That's going to be the feels-like temperature.
Yeah, that's a temperature that just chills the bone, and you've got to stay warm. And if you can't get electricity going in your place, you need to see if you can get out and get to a warming center or something like that, or find some way to stay warm. At my house, I went through elaborate preparations and had a plan. Didn't need it, and thank goodness, I didn't have to have it. But what I'm really troubled by is, I was out there trying to do what I can through the limited social media outlet that I have to, warn people about this is what you're going to face, and this is what the storm is looking like, and be prepared. Don't take this lightly. And I got a lot of blowback from a few people who felt like, well, they told us it was going to be 27 inches of snow, and now they're just saying it's going to be like half an inch of ice. That's the thing. They seize upon the snow totals early. The forecast changes over the course of 7 to 10 days, and the track moved north, and it became more of an ice event for us. And they just didn't understand, for some reason, that a half inch of ice, while it may not sound like a lot, is a huge thing to our power grid, and they didn't prepare the way they should, and they were just complaining. All they wanted to do was complain about how the forecast has been changing. Nobody can tell us what's really going to happen. Well, when you look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you have to understand it's a wild ass what guess, and as you get closer and closer, about 3 days out, that's when they really start to get a bead on it in a more significant way. And so, you watch it for the first few days, and then as you get 3 days out, then you start to make your plan, because at that point, the forecasts become fairly accurate.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, Brian, just real quick, you have these days so many different apps and so many different ways to get your information. Plus, you've got all the various models as well. And you've got all these different people that are interpreting the models as well. And I think
a lot of amateur meteorologists out there, and maybe I'm one of them. But I did actually, I did weather for a while.
I know you did.
I studied it. I don't tell that to many people, but I did do weather for a period of time. And I really enjoyed it, and I studied it, and I tried to learn a lot about it. I am not a meteorologist, but I can tell you this. If you have any criticism of, I think the meteorologist in this area got it pretty close to right. But if you if you look at some of these people out there on the internet who are just, they don't know what they're talking about. You've got to look at pretty serious people who will give you good information and stay abreast of it as the forecast changes. It's sort of like the hurricane, They start out and they say, well, this could be really bad. And then as they get closer and closer and the models start to come in agreement, they come up with a more accurate forecast. And it's gotten a lot better over the years than it was. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a storm that we talk about for 20 years.
You're right. More with Brian Wilson coming up next. It is 7:15. Going to get into some specific counties as far as power outages coming up, though. Time to check the roads on WTN. Nope. Take it down. It's not your fault, RJ. So, Brian, we're having that weird thing where the computers are not updating. So, and here's the deal, is our traffic reporter out where she is may very well not have power. So, RJ and Joan, for the rest of the day, Joan, if you don't mind, can you do the traffic so that, as much as we love Ken Weaver, that is literally a 72-hour-old traffic report. Joan, real quick, what is the traffic going on right now?
All right, so we're looking at the closure on 24 eastbound between Springfield and New Hope Road. It is closed now on 24 eastbound. That TDOT reporting multiple vehicles off the road there. And then you've got the closure as well in Williamsport Pike, both directions at Leatherwood Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, very good. Thank you, Joan. So as far as Brian Wilson joins us from Watertown, still has his power. Murray County, they've got 4,275 outages. What county is Watertown in? Is that Wilson?
We're in Wilson County, yeah.
Wilson County, Brian, only has 330 outages.
Yeah,
which is pretty impressive.
We really got lucky.
Yeah, that's very true. Sumner County, 27,000. Davidson County, 156,000. Williamson County, 14,000. Hickman County, 3,260, and on it goes. We did have somebody from the Tennessee Electric Cooperative on, and they are working 24/7, 365 to try to get all of the power back on. I did notice this. This was actually interesting. I didn't realize this, but they say that Tennessee leads the United States in power outages.
Right.
According to a couple of different sources.
I mean,
now.
it was almost the perfect storm for us in many ways. Perfect in not a good way.
Right. This is from the Tennessean. Tennessee leads the U.S. in power outages from the winter storm. And they talk about how the next highest states, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Georgia, each of which reportedly has 100,000 plus customers without power, and on it goes. And so they do talk about how Middle Tennessee is the state's epicenter of the devastation. That, of course, led by Davidson County. Now, I don't know, Brian, if you saw, but if Brian, you've got some time later on today, I did my first live stream today. I decided that because, I'm staying at a hotel about 12 minutes away. Mm-hmm. So I live streamed walking from my hotel to the radio station. And I probably will never do that again, actually. But I got to tell you, it was really cold and really icy. And we do still have a lot of black ice out on the roadways. By the way, if you want to check me out on Facebook, you can, and X at Dan Mandis Show. So, Brian, when will all the power be back on? You think it's going to be 3, 4, 5 days?
I think it's going to get a lot better today, and then I think there are going to be pockets where it's going to be a while, maybe a day or two. I would guess that by Wednesday, it will be a lot better than it is today. But I mean, we could be for a couple days, a lot of people without power. It takes a while to work through this stuff, and people are going to get frustrated, and people are going to get tired of this whole mess. And I'm already a little tired of it, and I didn't even lose my power.
Not yet, Brian. It's not too late.
Well, I know.
Stefano DiPietro on earlier. He said there's still a lot of ice on the trees, and that could cause.
Yeah, if you get any breeze at all, you got a problem.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right,
and by the way, these trees are going to be weakened.
Yes.
So that the next storm, if there is another storm, no matter what kind of storm, we have really stressed these trees out, and many of the trees that did not break may well break in the future. So I mean, this thing has a long-term impact.
It does. All right, real quick, so I am trying to do my usual content as well. There was another shooting in Minnesota. It was a guy that was killed. Alex Pretty is his name. ICU nurse is what the media is going with. He was indeed an ICU nurse, but clearly he was also an activist as well. I know that you've seen all the videos.
Right.
I don't know. Give me your thoughts on it. I mean, what I said earlier, just so you know, I don't want to lead the witness, but what I said earlier is, you know what? He had a loaded gun. He was allowed to carry it. It was in his waistband. The cops pulled it out. Border Patrol pulled it out of his waistband, and the gun apparently may have accidentally gone off, and that started all of the shooting that ultimately led to his death. Brian, though, I can almost guarantee you, I will never be shot by Border Patrol or ICE or law enforcement, because I know not to get up in their grill and impede their investigations.
Well, if you get stopped by a police officer for a traffic citation, I don't know, but I was always taught, keep your hands where they can see you. Don't do anything don't make any sudden moves, because, you have a police officer coming and he's going to be on edge. He doesn't know what he's walking into. Yep. And it's just good common sense not to do anything rash while you're having a conversation with an armed police officer, no matter what. Now, in this particular situation, it's chaotic. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. It's chaotic. People are tired. They're on edge. I can tell you that when there's pepper spray in the air, you're just a little discombobulated anyway. And it's just a chaotic situation. And you walk into that thing with a Sig Sauer and a couple of clips. Yep. Now, look, I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment, and you have the right, if you have a concealed carry permit and follow the letter of the law, you have a right in many states to carry a weapon. But that doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And if you're going to insert yourself into a situation while carrying a weapon, it seems to me you're just asking for trouble that, you don't need to be involved in. And so, look, I think it's tragic. I think it's sad. I think, this is not going to be protected. If the things that I'm reading, and a lot of people are writing about this, if the things I'm reading turn out to be accurate, this may not be a righteous shooting. I don't know. But, let the facts determine that as we go forward. But what in the world are you doing walking into a situation and getting in the grill of a bunch of people who are armed in a chaotic situation while carrying a weapon?
Well,
just not the smartest thing. If you want to stand off to the side and shout, with your little signs, that's one thing. But inserting yourself into that situation is nuts.
A listener has reminded me on the super text line that an ICE agent's finger was apparently bitten off by a protester.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is getting ugly. It's getting real ugly. And you know what? We have the right in this country to go in and find people who are in this country illegally, who have a criminal background, and remove them from this country. I don't understand why you'd be against that. That seems to be, did you see the statistics that show that since we started taking bad people off the street and getting them out of the country, that the crime rates around this country have gone down dramatically. Violent crime is down dramatically. It is having a positive impact on this nation. And, people will tell you, well, you can't really stop violent crime. Yes, you can if you get the violent criminals off the street, and it's having a positive impact. So, look, you may disagree. That is your right, and it is your right to protest and hold your little signs and shout from the side. But when you start inserting yourself in between police officers and bad guys, bad things can happen, and we've seen several examples of that already.
Do you know what I think, Brian? I think these people on the left, because they're part of the storyline that I covered this earlier. I don't want to delve too deeply into it again, but, it turns out that if Cam Higby's reporting is correct, that this is highly, highly organized and highly funded.
It's absolutely
their resistance. I think that the left sees the death of this Alex Preddy and others as collateral damage for a bigger cause.
I think you're absolutely right. And it is. There's nothing about this that's organic. It is well organized and well funded. Where do you think these people who don't have any, visible job that we can tell, who just go from, crisis to crisis, stirring the pot, where do you think they get their expensive gas masks?
Yes.
Where does that come from?
Right.
I can tell you where it comes from. It comes from organized efforts to fund these people and go out there. They want to be very visible and very insert themselves into this situation. And you're right. They look at this, well, I'm really sad that we lost somebody, but, we're making the larger point.
Well, and if I really want to go down this road, I would say that they also, in these kinds of situations, I'm not gonna take it as far as to say that they're glad these things happen. I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is that they know, like a Tim Walz or the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, Keith Ellison, and Ilhan Omar, they ratchet up the violence, they ratchet up the rhetoric, and then knowing that people are going to lose their lives, counting on it, I would say, and then that gives them more ammunition, if you will, heading into the midterm elections. Oh, look what the Republicans and Donald Trump are doing. And at least to me, Brian, it is so painfully obvious. I know that it is obvious for you as well.
Well, I've been in some of those protests in D.C., a lot of them, and I've gone nose to nose with the Black Bloc and the anarchist, and this is very, very well organized. And anybody who tells you different, it just doesn't have a good understanding of it.
All right, Brian Wilson, always great to have you on. Stay warm and keep me posted on what's going on out there at Wilson Manor.
All right, will do.
All right, real quickly, because I know Nashville Trent is on the phone. You got a road report, Trent?
Hey, Dan, how you doing this morning?
We're doing good. Go ahead, sir.
Well, good. Hey, so I just came down from Sumner, Hendersonville, and heading into Smyrna. And Brian is exactly right. The roads are really, really bad in the neighborhoods. Trees down, power lines down. But TDOT has done a phenomenal job with the freeways. They're cleared a lot more than I really expected. So it's but he is 100% right. The neighborhoods are the toughest part, and the power lines are extremely hard to see. Thank God some of the people were smart enough to put orange towels or flags on them so that you can spot them. But
Interesting. All right, yeah, hey Trent, let me ask you, where are you from?
So Hendersonville. Made it down from here. Just pulling into Smyrna right now. I'm in the commercial construction business, checking on one of our jobs. And,
the reason I ask is you use the term freeways, which is something that they typically say in California.
Oh, that's so funny. You notice that. I graduated Point Loma High, so yes, I am a California boy. But right now, I have been 22 years in Tennessee. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a Tennessee native.
There you go. I very much appreciate that, Trent, and I can definitely relate to that as well. If I could disown my Californianship, I would. Thank you, Trent. It is 7:28 on Nashville's Morning News. All right, Joan, we're not going to do the tease because we're running way late. The host is having a hard time staying on time today. Joan, blame the cold. That's what I should blame, is the cold, that I'm having a hard time staying on time. However, News with Joan is coming up at 7:30-ish. DT McCall's, listen, this is a great Tennessee company. They are here for their fellow Tennesseans with great prices, selection, and value. I've been telling you for years about DT McCall's. They've been helping people out for 4 generations. And if you need it, they've got it at DT McCall's. Indoor furniture. If you've got a room to fill, go to DT McCall's. Appliances, if it plugs in, they've got it. They've always got specials going on to save you money as well. Go to the front page of their website, dtmccalls.com. They've got specials on all the best brands of appliances and furniture right there on the front page. And by the way, if you buy it, they're going to deliver it for free and haul away the old stuff. DT McCall's 5 locations across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin, always online, dtmccalls.com.
Good morning. It is 7:34 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got some closures here that I need to tell you about for commuters. Both the east and westbound side of 24 appear to be closed down this morning in the Pleasant View area. TDOT reporting multiple vehicles off the road, including at least one tractor trailer. And what it looks like to me right now is that both sides of 24, east and westbound, are now closed down in that area in Pleasant View this morning. In the news of the day, hundreds of thousands of Middle Tennesseans are still without power. It comes on a weather alert morning with the National Weather Service issuing a cold weather advisory. Temps dipping to 9 below zero. That's the feels like temp in some places. A private jet carrying 8 people crashed in Maine last night as heavy snowfall battered that region. The plane went down just after taking off from Bangor International Airport. It crashed. That jet that crashed is registered to a Houston-based law firm. Now, moments before the crash, pilots and air traffic controllers could be heard discussing low visibility and aircraft de-icing. And a controller later cleared the pilot for takeoff, but just 2 minutes later declared there was an accident. It was spotted a plane lying upside down. Federal judges are hearing 2 separate cases today related to the ongoing surge of immigration agents in Minnesota. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison will be in court for one of them. He'll argue for an end to Operation Metro Surge, blaming ICE agents for, quote, tremendous damage. Separately, another hearing is scheduled for this afternoon related to a temporary restraining order barring Homeland Security from destroying evidence related to the death of Alex Preddy, that protester. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension sued, saying that Homeland Security blocked them from the scene where Preddy was shot. And the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is doing something that's never been done before. General Dan Kane is convening a meeting of all top military leaders from the 34 countries in the Western Hemisphere. That meeting reportedly focusing on improving cooperation against drug trafficking and criminal organizations. That meeting is set for February 11th. That's the latest news. Stick around for traffic and weather. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, if you've got a dog that has been misbehaving, maybe you've got some aggression issues, maybe some anxiety, maybe some potty problems, I've got a company that can help you. They've been helping dogs and their owners for 25 years, and they've been helping thousands of dogs and their owners. Now, I call these folks the Dog Whisperers, and my buddy Jeff and his crew at Ridgeside Canine Nashville, they can help you with all of those issues that I just mentioned and a whole lot more. You know, what I really like about Ridgeside Canine Nashville, I've gone to speak to some of their clients, and they swear by Jeff and his team because they come in, they identify the problem, they take the dog in question for a couple of weeks, or maybe 2, 3, maybe sometimes even 4 weeks perhaps, but they train them. They train the dogs and they train their owners, and together, collectively, they can save this animal. Now, they've got a lifetime support guarantee, and they are there for you 24/7. Ridgeside Canine Nashville. Call Jeff and his team today. Tell him Dan told you to reach out. 615-878-0380. Visit them online, rsk9nash.com. The letter K, the number 9, rsk9nash.com. They've also got a great Facebook page. Ridgeside Canine Nashville, veteran-owned and proven results guaranteed for life.
road closure this morning. It's on 24 eastbound in the Pleasant View area. It's from Springfield to New Hope Road, and it may be closed on the westbound side as well. Multiple vehicles off the road in that area. It appears that that's one of those icy spots that we're dealing with this morning. In Brentwood, 65 in the southbound side at Old Hickory Boulevard. That's the scene of an injury crash. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$7:41, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I want to welcome on into the program Cindy Porter, Jeepers of Spring Hill. Cindy, thanks for joining us here on Super Talk 99.7. And so just so people know what you folks do, you are, and I've been talking about you and organizations like this for a while now, where you will drive doctors and nurses and veterinarians off to their places of business when it gets when the weather gets really bad and the roads are icy. So, number one, Cindy, thank you for what you're doing. How long have you been doing this?
We've been doing this for 7 years.
And what prompted you to do this? I mean, did you saw a need? And by the way, you're doing it for free, I believe, correct?
Yes, absolutely for free.
And what prompted you to do this?
Well, actually, the gentleman who started it, he was one of our members, and he has since moved away out of state. But he originally started it just because he wanted to get out into the snow, and this was an excuse for him to get out and play in it for his wife, he said. But it has then turned into just us wanting to give back to our community, and it snowballed from just Richard's little excuse to play in the snow to we had 18 drivers this snow event, and we have done 42 rides as of right now, and we have another 24 scheduled for throughout the day today.
And talk about, I just sort of glossed over the kind of folks that you drive, but we're talking about doctors and nurses. Who are these people that you are driving? Or any other lines of work?
No, really our biggest one is nurses. We've done a few like 911 dispatchers and EMTs, but it mainly seems to be a lot of nurses, and not just at hospitals, but we really are like a lot of assisted living facilities and places like that.
I'm going to admit something to you, Cindy. I almost called you for a ride a couple of days ago to schedule for this morning. I ended up getting a hotel at here closer to work, but I am horrible driving in the snow. So I can personally tell you that I love what you do. And is it everybody's a Jeep owner? I was a long time Jeep owner. I went through a couple of different Jeeps, as a matter of fact. So everybody that drives their Jeep owners?
Well, typically, yes, but this year I had a Ford F-150 driver reach out to me, and I had I think it was a Toyota person, and I think another kind of car. They reached out and they said, we don't own a Jeep, but we would love to help. And I said, well, we will definitely take the help. So this year, for the first time, we had a couple other different types of vehicles helping us.
That is awesome. And as far as the roads this morning, I mean, what are you seeing now? I know that you used to drive. Now you're more of a dispatcher coordinator kind of a person. But what are you hearing on the roads?
Well, my husband just got back from doing a run. We live in Chapel Hill now, so he actually drove from Chapel Hill to Columbia, and then took somebody to Spring Hill. So he has been out on quite a few of the roads this morning, and they are all in pretty good shape.
But would you recommend like people being able to drive themselves? From what I understand, the black ice is really bad in some parts, and obviously, once the neighborhoods are clear, then, it'll be good to go. But I mean, it's impossible to get out of the neighborhoods.
Yes, the neighborhoods are not in good condition, but the main roads, we were out late last night driving, and he was out this morning, and a lot of the roads are just totally, completely dry.
All right, very good. If somebody wants a ride, it feels like, even though it's going to be really cold, especially tomorrow morning as well, but if somebody needs a ride, how do they get in touch with you?
They text me at 615-969-9687.
All right. Thank you again very much for what you're doing. Cindy Porter with Jeepers of Spring Hill, and maybe I'll talk to you next ice storm.
All right. Thank you so much.
All righty. It is 7:46, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. People are asking me because, Joan, we were talking about me broadcasting from home. Then I decided I was going to come in. Then a very nice guy named Rodney said that he was going to give me a ride. I had to come in early into the city, so I ended up driving myself. And it's been a long couple of days holed up at the hotel.
And I think you're going to be there. You're going to continue to stay there, right?
I'm going to be there through tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I don't know if I should take it as sort of offensive, but my wife said it's been pleasantly quiet around the house. Would you take that as an insult?
Oh, no, Dan, don't take that.
No, don't take that as an insult? Sure, no. Joan. Okay, very good.
She was making observations.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So I was telling people earlier about in the 5 o'clock hour, I'm staying at the hotel, and I thought, okay, this is going to be great. I'm going to get finally some sleep. Because, in my house, you've got, all these, the dogs barking and Riker's going crazy and Amy's yelling at Riker to be quiet, and that wakes me up. I mean, it's a whole, so I thought I'm going to finally get some sleep. Joan, I went to bed last night at like 4:30.
Wow.
And right next to me, you got a couple of screaming kids just going absolutely bat crap crazy. And they're excited because of the snow and the ice. And clearly they were taking a bath because I heard water sloshing and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. But you know what? Hotel living. It is what it is. Now, Sam in Spring Hill is going to give us a roads report. Sam, go ahead. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I was calling. I live in northern Columbia, in Spring Hill. I go into for town a lot of the times, and I drove into Nashville for work I guess it was Saturday night, and I was appalled. The government has said they're going to prioritize clearing the interstates and then the emergency access routes. So in Murray County, where I live, the interstates were pretty much good all the way up to Nashville. So 65 all the way up to Nashville. And the access road to the interstate in Murray County was just fine. But when I went to Nashville, Williamson County was still completely iced over. There was no bare patch of the road. Hopefully today it's going to be better. But when I came back home, I avoided Williamson County altogether because it was just so much worse condition than Murray County was.
I wonder why that is. Do you have any idea, Sam? Why would Murray County be good, but then Williamson County, the roads not be good and still covered? Is that like a district issue or what? I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, I assume the different counties are responsible for paying the different road treatment companies or whatever. And even with that logic, you would think Williamson County, with all their money, would be way better roads. But that's not how it's panning out. And I'm telling anyone that'll listen, if you can, avoid that direction.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, people on the Super Text line saying, please, Dan, tell people that they need to turn on their lights today when they're driving. So I guess that's one of the other things that needs to happen. We are a little off. We're a little off clock. So Joan, real quickly, tell me what is going on the roadways.
So you've got that deal again on 24. And I know that eastbound it's closed, Springfield to New Hope Road. but I don't know whether that's the same on the west side. It appears like it's either very slow or it's also closed. There are no cameras in that area, and the traffic center isn't really clear about what's happening, but lots of vehicles off the road in that area. So that tells you that that's one of those places where there is ice on the roads. You've got an injury crash as well in Brentwood, 65 South at Old Hickory Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, so our friend Pamela Furr, Joan, is texting me to defend Williamson County. Murray got a lot less ice than Franklin did, and Williamson County, because Williamson County did get hammered.
Yes.
Williamson County got hammered bigly, so that might also be part of it.
She also is predicting that there's going to be a lot of babies in 9 months around here. That Pamela Furr, she knows.
Not in my house. And if,
right, you took care of that already. I got you.
Well, yeah, that too. I was going to say, if there's some explaining that needs to be done. Moving right along, totally kidding. Why do I make that awkward? Joan, why do I do that?
You're very good at it, Dan. You're
man.
very, very good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your charming trait.
It's really not. Okay, real quick, because I want to get back on track. So Murphy's show said that he would do a hit with me today at 8. Well, he told me he'd do a hit with me today. And so I sent him a text and said, can you do one at 8? And Joan, I have not heard back from the powers that be at Murphy-Lago. So should you think I should call him? I know that he was up late because he sent me a text. So Joan, will you call Matt and see if he'll join us at 8?
Will I call him?
Yeah. Would you
Have
call
you
him?
lost your mind? No, I don't do that kind of thing. No. If he's going to get mad at anybody, if he's going to get mad at somebody because they're calling him at home
It'll
early
be
in the
RJ.
morning,
RJ, you need to call Murphy-Lago. You need
There
to
you
call
go.
Matt and see if he'll join us at 8 o'clock.
I mean, I can poke that bear if you want me to.
You poke that bear. And then when he gets mad, I'm going to say, I don't know why he did that.
yeah.
I just mentioned it in passing, that I was maybe hoping to have Matt on, and he just chose to pick up the phone
And I'll say I know nothing about it.
and Joan.
All right, throw the part-timer under the bus. I get it.
That's not a problem. That's what we usually do. All right, it is 7:52, and Joan, what do we got for news coming up?
All right, so coming up here in the news, let's see. We've got some big problems for folks who use AT&T or T-Mobile as their cell phone carriers. Also, a couple of court hearings in Minneapolis today. It's all related to those ICE operations. We'll tell you about it at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 7:53 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. USS United Structural Systems. Yep, I just had him out to my house and discovered actually a little bit of a problem. So we're going to have that taken care of. And you know why I'm going to have it taken care of by USS United Structural Systems? Because they've been my foundation and waterproofing company for over a decade. And I was a customer before I was an endorser. And I really do trust USS to not only do the job right, but also they're going to treat me fairly and they're going to treat you fairly as well. Now, y'all know clearly, we've been living through it the last several days especially, that January is a wet month. So when water starts showing up where it doesn't belong, like, for example, in your basement or crawl space, it can become a very serious problem very quickly. So you've got to check them out, USS United Structural Systems. You can always find them online, USSTN.com to learn more. Go to that website, by the way, because they have all kinds of things that they can help you with, whether it is concrete leveling, foundation repair, again, or waterproofing. Go to their website, check them out online. Please always tell them that Dan Mandis told you to reach out. That website, USSTN.com, USSTN.com. 7:58. Super Talk 99.7 WTN 615-737-9986, or as people who speak English say, 9986. Joan, I went. Did you catch that, Joan?
Well done, Dan.
9987. You know what it is? It's all the cold. You know, it's making my brain freeze is a real thing.
Yeah, but isn't it warm in the studio?
That's beside the point, Joan.
Okay, I was just checking.
I'm still recovering from my award-winning live stream of 12:45 this morning when I risked my life for this radio show and this radio station, walking the 10 to 12 minutes from my hotel to the radio station. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It is completely irrelevant now because it's now, 6-7 hours later? But people are still apparently watching it.
Well, that's good. At least you didn't do it for nothing.
The term shrinkage may have been utilized during the live stream, but you'll have to watch it to find out in what context. And we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it there, Joan. We'll just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Trevor says he can see blue sky in Smyrna and sunshine as well.
Wow.
Still going to be very cold. Murphy Show, live from Murphy-Lago, is coming up next. I actually decided to call him.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, Matt, are you awake?" And he said, "Well, Dan, I've been awake for a couple of minutes now." So we'll talk to Matt Murphy. We'll get a preview of the Murphy Show coming up later today at 3 and find out how things are going in Mount Pleasant. It's Mount Pleasant, right? It's where he lives. Is Mount Pleasant south? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see here. Yeah, 7397. Where is NES? No power for 28 hours. That we had them on earlier. We had NES on earlier, and they are working on it. They're working their way through the neighborhoods and everything. Got to go. 8 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we continue to follow the numerous power outages affecting Middle Tennessee, and they are numbered in the hundreds of thousands today. Tennessee reporting the most power outages in the country right now. Every electric power company says it is working around the clock to get everyone back online. Got a warning for folks living in Murfreesboro. There are connectivity issues for AT&T and T-Mobile subscribers, described as making it impossible in some cases to call 911 or possibly affecting the location data that is sent to emergency dispatchers. Nashville International Airport reopened now. The control tower was reopened this morning. Officials expect to begin moving air traffic in and out of the airport. It had been closed down since last night because of a shortage of air traffic controllers. A fire in Bellevue last night at the Westfield condominiums on Westfield Drive. 6 townhomes affected. Only residents in 2 units were home at the time, but the roof has collapsed. Fortunately, here nobody was hurt. Some of those residents, however, are now out of a place to live. Nashville Fire says their ability to fight this fire was hampered by the freezing temps. It appears another government shutdown is set to take effect at the end of this week, as Senate Democrats are vowing to oppose a federal funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. That threat coming after the death of a 37-year-old man at the hands of ICE agents in Minneapolis over the weekend. Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer, in a social media post hours after that shooting, said that what is happening in Minnesota is what he calls appalling, and Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if DHS funding is included in it. 6 of the 12 annual spending bills for the current budget year have already been signed into law by President Trump. Market numbers now brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. More than 90 S&P 500 companies are set to post their quarterly reports this week, including Apple and Meta Platforms and Microsoft. So far, the earnings season has been strong. 76% of the companies have reported beating expectations. Traders this week will also pay some close attention to the Federal Reserve. It's going to announce its first policy decision of the year on Wednesday. Now, it's expected that the Fed will keep interest rates right where they are, but Wall Street is going to look for clues on whether the Fed intends to cut rates very soon again. Right now, stock futures mixed. We've got Dow futures up 40, NASDAQ futures down 37, S&P futures are up just 1 point. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Okay, we're still looking at a closure on 24 eastbound in the Pleasant View area. It's between Springfield and New Hope Road. And right now, the traffic center is telling us that the right lane is blocked off on the westbound side as well, right at Springfield, Ashland City, for another couple of vehicles that are off the road in that spot. That appears to be the icy spot of the morning. You've got a crash in Brentwood as well. It's on 65 North at Old Hickory Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.806, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on into Matt Murphy from Mount Pleasant and Murphy-Lago. Matt, how are you?
Dan, you got it right. I'm very proud of you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Joan's here as well. Say hi to Matt, Joan.
Hey there, Matt.
Hey, Joan. How are you doing?
I got her name right as well, so I'm 2 for 2. Now, I want to play a game with you two. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Now, I got to set this up right because we know that I always screw it up. But I want you to name this tune. It actually applies to what we're seeing right now. Are you ready?
Ready.
Look all around. There's nothing but. Finish that lyric.
Snow, ice.
Look all around. There's nothing but.
I
cannot
I'm
believe
at
that
a
you-
loss.
Hold on. Joan, do you got this, Joan? Do you know?
Nothing but trouble?
Okay. I'm going to give this 15 seconds. And the super text line is going to explode with people who are totally understanding what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can all wait. All right. So as that happens,
Look. I mean, hey Dan, would you do me a favor? Would you maybe? I mean, this is a song.
yes.
Could you give us a little bit of the tune? Could actually sing it a little?
See, you know what Matt's trying to do,
I
right?
know what he's trying to do.
We all know what you're trying to do. Murphy Show.
Hold on. I think I got it.
Go ahead, Joan.
Blue skies?
Yes.
Ah.
I can see clearly now by some band that they're probably all dead now, but it's I can see clearly now. It's look all around. There's nothing but blue skies. Because we talked about how there's blue skies in various places across Middle Tennessee. My lovely missus just sent me a picture of blue skies above Mount Juliet.
Oh, wow.
You see what I tried
Well,
to
there's certainly sunshine above Mount Pleasant, Dan. If that's what you're getting at, the sun is shining, and let's hope the sublimation has begun.
Sublimation. Okay, good, Matt. Go ahead. I'll go ahead and bite. Tell me what sublimation means.
That's a big one for the morning show, Dan. That's a big one for Nashville's morning news. I learned this a few years ago. Sublimation is the act of a solid turning directly to a gas without going through the liquid stage. See, Dan, you probably didn't learn this in public school out in California, but there are three phases of matter: solid, liquid, and gas.
Sure.
And sublimation is what happens when the sun hits ice and it's actually below freezing, and the ice never goes into a liquid stage but goes directly from solid to gas. So what we should be hoping for, considering where the temperatures are this morning, we all should be hoping for a generous helping of sublimation to get the ice off the roadways.
You see, the fanciest word I used today, Matt, was shrinkage.
Unfortunately.
By the way, 4460 with my attempt at the look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. 4460 saying it for all of us. Wow. Great radio, Dan. You know, I really did try. Like, I did. All right, whatever. All right, so, Matt, tell me what's happening in Mount Pleasant. Now, you were without power for how long was it?
It wasn't, it was a brief amount of time yesterday morning, but I would say about 2.5 hours or so. And the Mount Pleasant Power Service, I could not be happier with them in the brief amount of time that I've been here. They got it back up and running. I had a line that went down in my front yard, and initially we thought that was power, but it turned out that it was not. I don't know exactly what that line is. It's a pretty healthy line running across the road, but I believe that they're on top of solving that situation. But I think it's a similar story to a lot of rural communities in that there's been a lot of ice. A lot of folks are hunkered down. They're playing about. They're, having a good time as best they can in it. We had a thin blanket of snow come in overnight that kind of settled on top of the ice. I was looking at it when I got up this morning, and it seems like that that's made everything nice and pretty for those that don't have to go anywhere, but it also prevents you from being able to see where the ruts were if you do have to get out and about, which I know that's not the advice that officials are giving. They're trying to insist that we hunker down at least for another day or so until the temperatures get above freezing. But that's kind of the general lay of the land over here, much like a lot of other communities, I'm sure.
I did, from what I understand, Matt, there was a call to your local power company, and from what I understand, the words, "Do you know who I am?" were uttered as you were demanding that your power be turned on first.
Well,
Is there any truth to that?
No. Yes, there was a call that was made, and the words, "Do you know who I am?" were uttered. And, Dan, I want to thank you for making that call. I appreciate you using your heft to get things done down in Mount Pleasant.
My heft. That's a Joan Jones word. She used that a couple of months ago for that lawmaker that tried to use her heft at blocking, if I remember, wasn't it
ice
like
operations in New Jersey?
That's exactly right. Very good. All right, so this is like a welcome to the county, though, because I mean, you just moved in. Wasn't it like a week ago to Murphy-Lago?
I moved in. We moved in Monday, so there was a lot of, obviously a lot of unknowns when you move into a new town. But when you get an ice storm, 25-year ice storm or whatever they're calling it, that comes in directly after you move in, there's some particular unknowns. I want to thank one of our. I have a loyal listener. We have so many loyal listeners on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And soon after we moved in, and I don't know if he wants me to name him or not, but he called out and said, "Hey, I've got some generators. That's what I do for a living. Would you like to purchase one?" And I am now the proud owner of a brand new generator. So I think that's potentially, Dan. You know how if you have something, you don't need to use it. You know those situations where I feel like I have this generator, and so the power comes back, and I don't have to actually use the generator. So
yes.
I'm very, very pleased. No, we could not be happier with the neighbors. I'll tell you, living in a small town, and you know this, Dan, and Joan, you certainly do too, it's just so nice because the neighbors have been so friendly. They come over, they said, if you need anything, we know you just moved in. So Mount Pleasant has done what small towns do, and that is take care of their neighbors, make sure everybody's okay, and I think that's what's happening all across the state, really.
Well, Matt, Mount Pleasant living up to its name.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant. Right. All right.
No, we get it, Dan. Yeah, Mount Pleasant. What is a Juliet? I was trying to figure that out. I switched to Mounts. I went from Juliet to Pleasant. I know what being pleasant is. I don't know what a Juliet is, Dan. Do you know what a Juliet is?
I think I drank a lot of those on my honeymoon. It's not Juliet. All right.
Yeah.
Dun.
Dan had a. Can I have a mint Juliet, please?
That's exactly right. By the way, Matt, I don't know if you've got time later on today, but you know, I risked my life for this radio station in the company by live streaming my walk from the hotel to the radio station. 12-minute walk, a 2-minute drive, but I chose to walk. And at about 12:45 this morning. And it is now showing on my Facebook page at Dan Mandis Show. If you want to see it, feel free because, Matt, I can tell you, it's riveting.
I bet it was treacherous that early in the morning. 12:45 in the morning, downtown Nashville. What was more dangerous, the ice or the homeless?
Do you know what? Even the homeless, Matt, were smart enough not to be out as I'm walking to the radio station. So, but you know what? It was, what's the right way to put this? It was cold. It was treacherous. I took one for the team, and here I am. And, the hotel that I'm staying at, it's fine, and I'm going to be there for another night. So, you know what? Tomorrow morning, I don't know if I should do another live stream or if it gets old really quickly. But you know what? I got to tell you that here in Nashville, looking outside, the streets are deader than a doornail. But, you know, the main thoroughfares, all seem to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm planning on coming in. I don't have any internet here. That's the one drawback is that we lost our internet service here in Mount Pleasant, and it has not come back on. So I'm planning on, braving the metropolitan streets of Mount Pleasant to try to get out to a major thoroughfare. But it's my understanding, as I was looking at it this morning, for those that absolutely have to get out, and obviously it's not advised by some of the emergency professionals, but if you absolutely have to, that the main streets seem to be holding up pretty well. And you have to give credit to the emergency services crews, to all of these road crews, and to all of the officials in the state of Tennessee for being prepped and ready to go with emergency management and with TDOT. We give them hell when they don't do it right, and so thus far it looks like they were ready to go with this situation. So we got to give them credit. Give them credit for that.
And listen, as soon as they get done with all of this, we can start giving them heck again for all the potholes, which will no doubt be forming in the next couple of months.
We can give them heck for all the potholes, and then get back to working on that tunnel with Elon Musk, so we don't have to worry about the ice and the snow.
By the way, Matt, I just spoke to a Cindy Porter from Jeepers of Spring Hill. You know, they're the people that give doctors and nurses and really important people rides to work and back if they can't handle driving in the snow. I could make that arrangement to, have them drive you into the radio station if you like.
Well, that's a very, very kind offer, Dan. Considering that I do have a four-wheel drive truck, I would hate to take those folks away from someone in need. I mean, I would think that, Dan, your Starbucks coffee run at 9:05 would be far more important than anything that I would have going on.
You know, Matt, you may be right, and that's a great point. Well, thank you, Matt. I don't know if we what do you got on? Shut up, Joan. I hear Joan laughing. Don't encourage Murphy Show. What do you have coming up, Matt, at 3:00 here on WTN?
Well, we are obviously going to talk about the winter wonderland that is the ice storm that we've just all experienced. We'll talk with Mayor Freddie O'Connell. We kind of set politics aside, and we'll talk to the mayor at 3:35 this afternoon about the city's response to the ice storm, and if there's anything additional that we need to know and be aware of as citizens in and around the metro area. We'll talk to emergency management of the state of Tennessee. We've lined up TDOT. I mean, obviously all of the usual suspects. Yeah. And then, of course, we're covering everything that's going on in Minnesota with the latest developments and the latest shooting there, and we'll continue to cover the response of that. So it's all starting at 3:05.
Now, Matt, if you want to play the game with the mayor, the look all around, there's nothing but game, you could do that if you want to play that with Mayor O'Connell. I know for a fact he's not listening to my show.
It's a really deep pull, Dan, because I actually Googled it while we were on air, and the song that comes up is a song that was sung by Johnny Cash, and I don't think that's the song you're referencing.
No, it's a what do they call it?
Tebow Bryson or something?
It's like no, it's like a Motown song. Look all around.
Are you talking about I can see clearly now. The
that one.
Is gone.
That's the one. I don't know who sings that, but I mean,
that is a dated reference lost on younger listeners, Dan.
Oh, you're going to get all radio with me now? Is that what you're going to do?
It's lost on younger listeners. Many kids remember that song from the iconic movie Shrek, where it was sung by the Three Blind Mice.
Wow, look at RJ chiming in.
Knowing his three blind mice.
Knowing his three blind
is
mice.
Is RJ going to be as aggressive with me when he's still running the board at 3:00 this afternoon? That's the question.
Yeah, you know what? So behind the scenes, all the other producers have, called out. So, I mean, RJ, be nice to Matt because you're going to be dealing with him for 4 hours.
They got cold feet.
Yeah, look at RJ. They got cold feet is what RJ had to say. All right, Matt, thank you, as always, for chiming in here on the morning show, and thank you for coming on, and good luck in getting here at 3:00.
You guys be safe, and we'll talk to you this afternoon.
All right, Matt Murphy Show, Murphy-Lago there.
Murphy-Lago.
Do you know what's so funny? Jay Harper's the one that came up with Murphy-Lago, and why am I hearing myself? Is that you, Joan? I'm hearing myself somewhere, and
No.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah, and it's very funny because if you, it's Johnny Nash. Apparently, they sings
Johnny Nash, yes.
Not Johnny Cash, but Johnny Nash.
Right.
Is that what Matt said? Did Matt say Johnny Nash or Johnny Cash? I don't even know.
I think he said Cash.
He did say Cash. Okay, very good. I don't know if Johnny Cash did a version of I'm almost positive he would not have done a version of I Can See Clearly Now. That's not a song that's cool enough for Johnny Cash to do.
That was 1972.
1972.
Wow.
I was 4 or 5 years old. Joan, you were a teenager about that time, right? Hey, it's 8:21 on Nashville's Morning News.
Dan.
On Super Talk 99.7. All right, let's see. Oh, we didn't do traffic. Joan, real quick, what's going on with the roads?
All right. So we still have that problem this morning in Pleasant View. So it's 24 eastbound lanes closed off. TDOT says there were multiple vehicles that went off the road between Springfield and New Hope. And again, 24 eastbound in that area is still closed. Now, the westbound side, there's a crash. And this one is, again, multiple vehicles off the road. The right lane is blocked off. And Williamsport Pike, both directions at Leatherwood Road is also closed. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, Joan, back at you. What is coming up at the news at 8:30?
Oh, boy, Dan. I'm working hard over here. So we have a naval fleet that has just crossed into the Middle East region, closing in on Iran. We'll explain what that means here on Super Talk 99.7 coming up at 8:30.
All right, thank you, Joan. 8:22 on Super Talk 99.7. Window Nation listen, it is, maybe seeing some blue skies, but it is still and going to be really, really cold. And so if you've got more of that cold and frigid winter air coming into your home and that hot air is going out, it's time for you to call my friends at Window Nation. Now, this month is a great time to replace your old windows with Window Nation. They've got a great deal going on right now. Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale. It is going on right now from Window Nation. You could also get these new windows with 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Now, this is my window company. I've got 4 Window Nation windows in my home, a couple in my downstairs basement studio, 1 in my kitchen, 1 also in my bedroom. They've got a 96% customer satisfaction rating and over 45,000 5-star reviews. Window Nation, again, the January special, call them. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free. That sale is going on right now. You could also get them with 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. 866-90-NATION is the phone number, 866-90-NATION, windownation.com.
still have that closure on 24 eastbound side between Springfield and New Hope. Several crashes in that area. Westbound side appears to also be a problem this morning with multiple vehicles off the road at Springfield, Ashland City. The right lane is blocked. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning. It is now 8:28. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A U.S. aircraft carrier strike group has crossed into Central Command this morning, the Middle East region that includes Iran. Now, that movement comes days after Iran's Revolutionary Guard commander warned that his force had its finger on the trigger, as he said, as U.S. warships were moving toward the region. Now, this group that did move into the region this morning includes the USS Lincoln, an aircraft carrier, on board squadrons of F-18 Super Hornets and other fighter jets and helicopters. That group also includes 3 guided missile destroyers. President Trump has repeatedly warned Iranian leaders against killing peaceful demonstrators and the mass execution of people who were arrested in those protests. The National Weather Service saying that our high temp today will be around 18 degrees. But at our warmest point in the day, it's still only going to feel like 12 degrees. A cold weather advisory is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. The National Weather Service says after that, it is an extreme cold warning. The good news is that Middle Tennessee Electric dropped their numbers of electric outages to just under 8,000, according to Fox Nashville. And BNA opened its air traffic control tower after an overnight closure due to a staffing shortage. But the bad news is that we're still seeing hundreds of thousands of power outages across the Nashville area through Middle Tennessee. Now, from the many electric companies that provide power in this area, and with so much ice still on power lines and trees, there may be more outages, making the situation where things get worse before they actually get better. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Stocks will begin to trade this morning, but market numbers, the pre-market numbers this morning, were on the plus side with the Dow futures up 62 as we head into the opening bell. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandison. Boy, yes, it is cold right now. And a lot of folks, of course, probably you, indoors. But at some point, we are going to see that sun again and even go outside and enjoy the outdoors. And you want to look and feel your best and more confident. And Contours can help with targeted fat loss with red light therapy. And they can get you started for just $99 to see if it works for you. No contracts, no gimmicks, just a guarantee that you are going to lose 2 inches across the middle or that first visit is free. Now, I've done it. Matt's done it. Now it is your turn. It takes an hour a week, is FDA cleared. Obviously, it doesn't hurt, and no, it doesn't damage you. It's red light-based technology. It's all the rage these days. It is new, and it works. And Contours specializes in it for targeted fat loss, facials, and a whole lot more. Now, you go, you try it, you like it. Buy a Belly Buster package, and you get 3 free maintenance visits. That saves you $1,500. But you know, it does begin with that $99 special. That gets you that first consultation and treatment. And right now, the first 10 callers get it, $99. And you see results or it is free. First 10 callers right now, 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960 for Contours. 615-236-9960. Online at ContoursLLC.com. Contours, what do you have to lose but inches? Hey, it's Dan Mandis for Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee gold medal celebration. You know, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing they could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something just as important, that your internet price is not going to change for 5 years. No contracts and no commitments. So, while your kid is ordering gear online, streaming highlight reels, or video chatting with coaches, your Xfinity price won't budge for 5 years. And who knows, by the time the next Olympic Winter Games rolls around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And by the way, you'll still be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed. Just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That is a $10.99 a month value. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY. Find them online, xfinity.com, or drop into a store today.
Still closed on 24 eastbound between Springfield and New Hope in Pleasant View. The westbound side appears that the right lane is still blocked off by an accident at Springfield Ashland. Also, traffic lights out in Franklin this morning, Columbia Avenue at Parkway Commons, Columbia Avenue at Century Court, also at Downs Boulevard, and then Downs Boulevard at Main Street. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.837 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Along with Joan Jones, RJ's in for Sam. Chris Hand is joining us live from the borough.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Hey, man. Good, Chris. You know, it's I want to say this, Joan. I want to just give me a moment about how excited I am that we are doing a big event. The curling challenge. Now, Joan, I don't know if you've ever been curling. I know that I have not.
I've not, but it's so fascinating to watch.
Well, it is, and I'm so glad that we have an expert in curling, spending so much time in Canada as he did. Chris Hand.
Perfect. Yep.
Is
perfect. I listen. As soon as this event got announced, I was like, "Here we go." I've been bracing for the Canadian jokes.
Am I that obvious at this point, Chris? I'm like go through this whole setup, and you just knew exactly where I was going.
To be fair, I expected this more from the listeners and less from my friends.
Oh, listen, I'm not saying, being Canadian is a pejorative. I'm just saying that, you seem to like that Bob. Is it Bob Hortons? Is that what it is?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons. You see what I did there, Joan? I made him admit that he knew what Tim Hortons was.
Yep, you did. You did.
Okay, moving right along. Hi, Chris. How's the borough doing?
The borough's doing good. We got a lot of ice. The sledding has been lackluster, but we did manage to make the tiniest snow fort that has ever been made, so that was a huge win. But no, I mean, all in all, it could have been a lot worse. I know that there's still some people without power, but we're counting our blessings over here. Day 3 of having 4 little kids locked inside. It's beginning to look like a fight club of sorts. But we're gonna keep staying strong as best we can.
I was thinking that, Chris. I was thinking that if you've got ice, like it's more exciting to take those sleds and go faster on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't ventured too far down the road to the sledding hill.
Okay.
Because I've almost busted my rear end a few times just walking the dogs.
I'm thinking. Is it Christmas Vacation when Chevy Chase goes down that sled and he goes like through the mountains and the grocery store or whatever? Remember that? I mean, I remember that movie.
Yep.
So is that what it would be like if you try to take the kids sledding?
I feel like that's what it would be like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's what we would picture, and we would end up with just a bit more bloody elbows and knees.
Listen, Chris, it builds character. It's what it does.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like Chris would be funnier than Chevy Chase.
I think the language would be a little saltier than Chevy Chase.
More colorful.
Little more colorful. So did you have you fallen taking the dog out?
No, I have not. But I got close a couple times. What about you? How's the hotel? How has been the Mandis weekend away?
I'll give you one word, Chris. Boring, actually. Yeah, it's me staying at a hotel is not exactly what you would call, wild and crazy guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Really? I mean, I heard you had a Salisbury steak.
Oh my God.
And macaroni and cheese.
Okay, so
you're living the high life.
Right? Right?
Okay, so I didn't want to bring that up again because I got scorched on the super text line for bringing up what the Salisbury steak did to me in the 5 o'clock hour. So I was not going to bring that up again.
Wait, it did something to you in the 5 o'clock hour?
I mentioned it in the 5 o'clock hour. Actually, to be honest with you, just before the 5 o'clock hour, but we won't get into it. So for people that missed the really engaging story in the 5, so I'm in this hotel, and so I had to eat microwave dinners because there's nothing open, right? So I go ahead and I get some TV dinners, which I haven't eaten since my 20s. And I used to love Salisbury steak. It's like a Hungry Man, Salisbury steak, whatever it is. And so I was very excited to eat it. And so I ate it. And I got to tell you, my digestive system isn't what it was like when it was in my 20s. And so I've been having stomach issues. You know what it is? It is like Taco Bell on steroids.
No.
Ouch.
Yes. I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to, whatever, we're all friends here. But I'm telling you that it has not agreed with me in any way, shape, or form. So I can't get back to the hotel quick enough.
So,
you know what I'm thinking? That most guys' wives would pack them up something nice to take to the hotel.
Oh, she did. The lovely Mrs. Mandis, she did. She packed me a whole bunch of. Did she text you?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
maybe I need to text her.
Amy texted you and said, "Hey, ask him about all the nice food that I made him." She did. She made me some great food.
So the Salisbury steak was not packed by Amy, is what we're getting.
No, so Amy made me some chili and some. What was it? Joan, we talked about this on Friday. She made me some rice and meat dish kind of a thing, which for whatever reason.
But you felt the need to go get Salisbury steak when you had homemade goodies?
I eat a lot.
Oh,
Joan,
my goodness.
Listen, I've been there for days. I got there on Saturday. So Saturday and then Sunday, and I had chili and I had the meat and rice thing that she cooked.
You
but
gotta
at some
pace
point,
yourself, buddy. You're going to be there tonight too.
Listen, but you know what I'm hoping I'm hoping that at some point I am able to go out and actually get something to eat because, the ice, the stuff falling from the sky is not happening any longer. So I'm hoping that maybe things open up, today.
If you're feeling confident enough to venture out and find a restaurant, why wouldn't you just go home, Dan?
Yeah, right.
Well, I booked it for 3 days.
Oh, there
and so
it is.
I'm gonna and since I had to pay for this myself, moving right along, I'm not gonna let a night go to waste.
No, you can't do that.
No, I can't do that. Plus, apparently the streets in my neighborhood are still a mess.
You're staying at that hotel on principle alone.
Yes. Oh, okay. So clearly, here's what's happening. I am being fact-checked in real time by my wife.
Oh, boy.
I'm being well-danned. She made me jambalaya, chili, banana bread, and cookies, and I think one other thing.
I think it's a little unfair at this point to be blaming the stomach issues on the Salisbury steak, if I'm being honest with you.
I honestly, I've been eating like crap.
But I feel like we're slandering the hungry man when we hear what was packed.
No, I also have some grapes, just so we're clear. Okay. I didn't bring any veggies with me, but that's okay, whatever. So, yeah, and now I've got 3 other Hungry Mans, which I don't know if I want to take a chance on eating.
Dan, if we're following hotel logic, you paid for those Hungry Mans.
Right.
You're going to need to
You
use
need
them.
to eat them.
I told RJ I was going to bring those for him, actually. So, whatever. Anyway,
See, this is where my wife comes in because she actually packed me food.
No, my wife packed me food. No, don't. Now I'm going to be at the hotel for longer than another day because she's going to be mad at me because she's going to feel like I'm slandering her. She made me a lot of really good things.
I can't believe you would speak about Amy this way, Dan.
I know. And buying Hungry Man's when she packed you some perfectly good food.
She has been prepping for weeks to get you through this storm.
And this is how I treat my wife.
We can't believe it either.
Shameful.
All right. You know what? RJ, you're new here, and you're only temporary, and you're going to be even more temporary if you keep that up. I'm just kidding. RJ's done a great job today, as a matter of fact.
We are more than thrilled that RJ showed up.
By the way, I stand corrected. It's not. Yes, Chris, you're right. It's not Hungry Man. It's Hungry Dan.
Hungry Dan.
Hungry Dan.
Well, Hungry Dan.
Anyway, so yeah. So, yeah, let's see. 0928. Careful, Dan. Your wife will book you another week. Yeah, I can't afford another week. Anyway, moving right along. So, yeah, you didn't. So, how are you going to keep the kids quiet for your show, Chris?
I think we've already kicked the majority of them outside.
Have you?
Yes. We said don't come back in until you have hypothermia or it's 12:05.
Oh, by the way, speaking of hypothermia, Chris, did you see that I live streamed my walk to the radio station this morning from the hotel? My very first live stream.
What did you go on Facebook Live or something?
Yeah.
How long of a walk was it?
It was like 12 minutes. It was no problem. I was the only person out on the roads. If you haven't seen it, later on tonight when WTN is in syndicated programming, go watch the 12 minutes, or maybe during one of our average commercial breaks. You can go and you can watch my live stream. I was very proud of it, actually.
I can't believe I'm looking at it now. How great our listeners are. I saw Teresa said, "I'm watching and I'll call 911 if you fall."
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided to. Live stream was because if I fell, somebody would hopefully call 911.
You had 18,000 views on your 12-minute walk to work.
Did I really? I don't even know how to read that. So 18,000 views? Yeah, but here's the big question. This is the big, and you know this as well as I do, Chris. How far did they get in before they said, this guy's nuts and boring, and I'm going to tune away, right? Because, you can see, you can have like 18,000 views, but 17,999 only watched until 10 seconds in.
So here's the thing. I can't see any of your analytics, but I can tell you anecdotally, I lasted 12 seconds.
I hate you. Yeah, but you know what? You're trying to talk at the same time. So there is that.
Okay.
Hey, Joan, did you hear how Chris just completely dismissed me? Did you hear
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to make sure everybody heard that, which I'm pretty sure, Chris, everybody did. Hey, real quick, I want to speak. Jesse is calling in. I've been calling for road reports all morning long. Jesse is on line 1. Jesse, where are you and what are the roads like?
I am currently back in Murfreesboro. Most of the main roads in Murfreesboro are all right. Out in Belmead, though, you have the main roads still have a bunch of trees down. People have been having to cross the median to go in the opposite lane and run both lanes on one side.
Okay.
Just due to how bad it got hit between yesterday and this morning. There are lots of trees down on the side roads. I know NES and Middle Tennessee Electric are trying, along with Esplanda, Parks, and a couple other tree companies and landscape companies to try to cut the tree passability.
So, all right,
Some of these places are probably going to be out.
So Jesse, I appreciate it. So what do you think the odds are, because you're in Murfreesboro, what do you think the odds are that Chris Hand can actually get into work tomorrow?
Let's think about it, Jesse. I mean, it's dicey out there. I got all these kids.
We'll go with this. What part of Murfreesboro?
Oh, I'm in the worst part of Murfreesboro. Deep in Murfreesboro.
In other words, Jesse, Chris clearly does not want to come back into work. He likes broadcasting from home.
I mean, I don't blame him, and I honestly would not recommend most people being out in this today unless you are on a main road.
I'm going to take your recommendation, Jesse. I think that's solid.
Due to the fact most of the side roads are still iced up, still snowed. In essence, all that ice and snow from yesterday froze over during the night, and it's supposed to get down in the single digits tonight. Any water on the road will freeze no matter how much salt they put down.
Hey, Jesse, Chris says the check is in the mail, and thank you for calling. You know what's so funny? Chris, I happen to know because
I'll be back at the studio by next week.
You know what's so funny? I've been to your house, Chris. I know that you are 4 houses away from the main thoroughfare.
Oh, I know, but it's trying to get there.
It's those 4 houses. It's those 4 houses.
They're like 15 yards from, your house to the main road. And then you make, I think it's a right up to get you.
It's to be safe because most of the accidents happen so close to home.
Chris, if we could only save 1 fender.
Exactly.
Or 1 bumper.
Thank you. One mailbox.
One mailbox. That's exactly right. And by the way, 4460 says, it is 20 damn minutes. I'm not watching that crap. Talking about mine. 4460, it's actually 12 minutes.
I mean, the walk might have been 12 minutes, but the video in its entirety was about 20.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know why? Because I also gave people a tour of the radio station. I actually, you know what I did, Chris? I took them into the studio at the end.
Okay. People were wondering if the video froze.
No, I don't think so.
It was a winter weather joke.
Oh, is that a winter weather joke? Okay, that's about as funny as my I can see clearly now joke from earlier. Did you hear that? That was radio plastic.
Was it? I missed it. I'm bummed.
Yeah, because we were having blue skies, Chris, and I had Murphy's show on and Joan on, and I said, finish this tune. It is applicable to what is going on right now. I said, look all around. There's nothing but, and neither Chris nor Joan Matt nor Joan could finish that lyric. Could you finish that lyric? Look all around. There's nothing but.
I wouldn't see. Yeah, it was a listener that.
No, it wasn't a listener. It was RJ that came back and said, no, if you've watched Shrek, the 3 blind mice said, they sang the song, Look All Around, There's Nothing But Blue Skies by Johnny Nash.
Okay. I think it did. I think it went better this time.
Whatever. You know what? I'm so done with this whole radio show.
Hey, my dad texted me. This is they moved to Florida to avoid winter weather. This is the first big snowstorm that they've avoided, and he actually reached out and he wants to know why you've been trashing your wife all segment.
I'm not trashing my wife. I love whatever. You know what? You guys are not helping. You want me to stay another week at the hotel.
It would be gold, Dan, gold.
All right.
It's probably best for you, Dan, to just stay.
No, that's okay. You know what? Do you know what? Here's what I know in my house right now, that at least one of the three beings in my house misses me, and it's the one with 4 legs. That's Bandit.
Okay.
Did Bandit make any food for you?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No. Bandit has not made any food for me. I already know that. Anyway, moving right along. All right, so Chris, what is coming up after the news at 9? Because you know what, Chris, I've been all over the ice-related news this morning. I spoke to the airport. I spoke to the Tennessee Electric guy. I spoke to the weather guy and the emergency management people. I spoke to all those people.
Well, look forward to more ice coverage. However, we'll be dabbling a bit more in Minnesota. Yeah. Another ice shooting over the weekend. We'll talk about that, what happened, what really happened in the leftist spin. We'll break all that down. We'll also talk about Signalgate, not the one that you've heard of before with Pete Hegseth, but a different Signalgate. This one might implicate some Democrats in Minnesota doxing ICE agents, all that and more.
That is a crazy. We did talk about that a little bit earlier, so looking forward to Chris Hand coming up after the news at 9. Joan, real quick, what do you got at 9?
Well, Trendy Aragua members under arrest nationwide will tell you what's going on coming up at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Joan. All right, got a lot more straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
This is a paid endorsement by a current client.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. You've heard me talk about Paul Winkler for years, and there is a very good reason. When it comes to investing, Paul Winkler Inc. is different. They got 10 offices across Middle Tennessee, never, ever any commissions. Now, this week, Paul Winkler is doing something I've always loved. Back to Basics Week. It is designed for everybody, no matter your education, no matter your experience, or how much money you are investing. Paul is going to answer all your questions. You know, he's going to break down stuff most people are maybe too embarrassed to ask, like what's the real difference between stocks and bonds? Why do financial experts always seem to disagree? And how many stocks does it actually take to be diversified? Now, you hear about gold, right? You hear about gold, CDs, Bitcoin, real estate, which are real investments and which aren't. Now, Paul is going to explain the 2 biggest investing philosophies that you're going to see out there and how to know which one your advisor is using, the evidence behind each approach, and the potential cost of choosing the wrong one. They'll even help you answer one of the biggest questions people struggle with: Roth or pre-tax for retirement? What really makes sense for you? And by the way, if you think that you're paying more than you should, you probably are as far as management fees. Now, these fees are often just the tip of the iceberg, and Paul is going to show you what is underneath. Now, if you want clarity, confidence, and a plan that actually makes sense, go to paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com. 8:58, Nashville's Morning News on WTN. Dan Meadows here. Mark Spain Real Estate. You know, you can start the year off stress-free and sell your home. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you are going to save time, make the most money, and eliminate all that hassle as well. Now, you won't have to worry about the hassle of constant cleanings and making costly repairs when you go through Mark Spain and the guaranteed offer. You can receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry and move when you are ready. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. You know, selling your home is, of course, one of the biggest financial decisions you are ever going to make. So who you work with matters. 855-299-SOLD is the phone number, 855-299-SOLD. Find them online anytime. It is markspain.com.
Okay, there are some crashes eastbound 24 still this morning near the McMahon Hollow Road overpasses. Crashes are off the road this morning. Madison, a crash on 65 south of Briley Parkway. Ellington Parkway, exit 90AB. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning. It is 9 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Sunday will be considered one of the biggest weather-related flight cancellation days in U.S. history. There were more than 11,000 flights canceled yesterday, including all flights